ArchieLuxury. I wanted to go into the cool jazz bar. The line is out the windows. The line was out the window, guys. I'll show you. Look at this. Look at the line out the window. The loom. The shroom. The loom. It was too long, so I came into the nerds bar. The nerds bar. Yeah, well, sort of nerdish. It's sort of cool. It's just how it is, guys. So there you go. That's what I'm doing.
Alongside the Swiss. So Clive Watch Wrangler Brian, didn't you promise Tanzio Ansari that Tim would autograph a poster to his biggest fan? I actually did promise that you would autograph a poster for ArchieLuxury and we would send it to him.
If you have a poster of me, that's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, so no.
Is that a thing?
So, well, it's going to be a thing because we're going to have a poster made of you, and you're going to need to autograph it to ArchieLuxury because I promised that we would send one out.
I can do, but do we ship internationally?
Well, we will. We will.
That's the first international gift we've ever given away. Congrats, Archie.
Like, subscribe, and tell your Fikehead friends. Welcome, everybody. This is the ArchieLuxury live stream. I'm doing a bit of a bonus round for the crowd here. We haven't done a lot of watch talk over the last week. I don't know, a week and a half. We've been in a lot of, hey, man, you know, fuck you, man. Like, maybe let me play my accordion, man. So I thought, you know what, let's give a break to the Archieverse. Let's get some watch talk in before the Pontiff shows up. He's going to arrive at his usual time, but I figured let's get the show started. Let's talk some watches, talk to the chat, talk about whatever you guys actually want. Like, if you don't want to talk about watches, you guys control the narrative. Super chat, whatever. Hit the upvote button. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We got our first chat of the day. We got Aaron Fletcher and Madonna. Good evening. Hi, Patel Philippe. I'm from Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Never been to Fairhaven, Aaron Fletcher. I bet it's a nice place. We got BC always here telling us it's pure shit. Yeah, Patrick B. I'm glad you were able. Hopefully, you're able to catch a live show. I did a Locks report earlier today on the Elite Horology channel, and Patrick B said, "Look, didn't get a chance to actually hear you do the show live." And you know, I appreciate everybody who goes in the chat when I do the shows live. I don't actually see the chat because I'm just trying to get through the show in under 10 minutes. But yeah, always appreciate everybody who's leaving comments, leaving chats. It obviously means a lot. That's all I really care about is just obviously engagement with you guys. And yeah, we can, I have a couple topics for watches, but we can talk about whatever you guys like. Yes, I'm trying hard to bring my watch wish 10, 100%. We got GD, first super chat of the day, 20 Argentinian pesos. Thank you so much, GD. Does not want watch talk, wants the red meat, GD. I'll give you some red meat, actually. One thing I didn't cover in the Locks report earlier was apparently TPG is like selling artwork from jail or something. He's trying to pay his victims back by selling artwork or drawings. I don't know what the fuck he's selling. But apparently, Lus, he broke that story on his channel. He's been communicating with TPG in the, I think from some kind of a messaging service that they have set up where, he can send emails to TPG. TPG can email him, and TPG did state that, hey, look, I'm trying to maybe pay down my debts by, selling some artwork. So look, if you guys are looking to commission a portrait of ArchieLuxury, that may be the place to go. Patrick's asking his Saad coming. Yeah, if Saad's welcome. Everybody's welcome to hop on, talk some watches with me if they like. We got Mike the Mistake in the chat. Chingao to you. We got One You See It, always around representing the Only Tans fans. Appreciate that. We got Mikey Casio GTR from the UK. Appreciate your viewership. We got Alan French Fry here saying, Tan the man. Nice to see you, Alan. We got Terry. Nice to see you, Terry. Got to meet Terry not too long ago. Really cool guy. Looking forward to this. Yep, 100%. We got K Dubs. Nice to see KW. Canadian brother. We got Frank V in the chat. Nice to see Frank V. We got GD again. The zeal is live, man. The zeal is live. Yeah, man. But yeah, look, if you want to talk a drama, GD, your super chat's always welcome here. More than happy to help. 5740 piece, guys. I know you love that watch, guys, and that is a That's a heavy hitter. I'll pull you up a 5470 Patek Philippe. All right, so we're looking at right here, mono pusher chronograph, 1/10 of a second, beautiful watch. This is up here for you guys and boys on the screen. Yeah, look, I'm not a big chronograph guy, to be totally honest with you. Never really was a big chronograph guy. I've always kind of just kept the Speedy in my collection as a chronograph and never really lusted after a chronograph. As I got into more high horology and finishing, I definitely obviously am interested in the way they finish chronographs like Patek Philippe, Geneva style. You can see here on the column wheel, there's a cap on it that's black polished. That's a trademark. You see, even on Patek Philippe's, you don't see tourbillons on the front of the dial. You see them, tourbillons on Patek Philippe's are always on the back. So yeah, just different way of doing things, a bit more refined in my opinion. But yeah, never was a huge chronograph fan. I know a lot of people like chronographs. Just wasn't my thing. I was always into different complications than chronographs. What's stuff you maybe save me from in? All good, bro. All good. Everyone's free to watch whatever they like. We got Home Milk in the chat. Will TPG be able to ship to Australia? I don't even know how this is going to work. Like, I don't know if he's, if Lus is going to help him or if other people, like, I don't even know how he's going to get the drawings out of jail and shipped to people. I really don't know. But hey, it's interesting concept, and definitely some news for today. We got Mike the Mistake, $2 Canadian. Thank you so much, Mike the Snake. When are we having lentils with REG? Look, I would love to have lentils with REG. REG is a cool guy. He only wants to talk watches, and in this segment, I'm going to try my best to talk watches. Again, like I said, if people want to super chat or there's something compelling they want me to talk about, more than happy to bring up anything. We are just kind of killing some time until the big boy shows up. And look, I wanted to make sure that you guys had some watch talk if you guys wanted it, because we have been lacking on the watch talk. Billy Jean's topic: Do you go to 10 $1,000 dinners, or do you buy a Rolex? Also, Happy Meal agrees to buy an SD43 and Brother Neo. Also, Happy Meal agrees to buy a Rolex SD43 and Brother Neo will kiss original OC. So look, $1,000 dinners or buy a Rolex. I think this is from, I think Tim G was talking about this not too long ago. And look, I'm not really, for those that have met me, I like to eat at hole-in-the-wall places. I don't really care to spend crazy money on food. It's not my thing. I like food, but I kind of look to places where locals eat, and just it doesn't have to be the most expensive thing in the world. So I'm gonna go Rolex all day long. But people say that about cars, right? Like, why would you spend so much on a car? Why don't you just buy like a shit ton of fucking Rolexes or whatever? Right? It's kind of different strokes for different folks, but. For me, Billy Jeans, I'm going to go Rolex all day. It'd be cool for Curly to get an SD43. I think that's the one he likes. Brother Neo kissing OC is definitely going to happen. So simple topics, but hopefully that gave you some value for no money. We got Frank V. Dan, TPG is more productive in prison than Eddie outside. Look, I told Eddie, I said, look, man, if you want to do some drawings and sell them on the show, it's all good, man. Make me a drawing of Toyota Mo, man. We got a Hugeling in the chat. Nice to see Hugeling. We got Eric L in the chat. We got Patrick B, $5 US. Watch Talk support. Thank you, Tan, man. Very cool, man. Thank you so much. Very cool, man. What if you could recommission your watch from Rolex? Okay, let's do the what if you could recommission. So I don't know if this is what you mean, Patrick B, but so I looked up, and I'll show you guys the watch that I'm referring to. It was a Patek Philippe 3940 Michael Ovitz, I think was, yeah, Michael Ovitz. Here we go. So I'm going to pull up the Christie's auction of this watch, and I'll kind of talk to you guys about this. So this piece on the screen is, and guys, let me know if there's a, hello? Can you guys hear me? Audio check, audio check. Audio check, any audio? No audio? Some audio? Any audio? Okay, cool. We got Patrick B said I'm good. All right, sorry, I wasn't sure if there was audio or not. Okay, thank you, Thomas Burnett. Okay, so this watch on the screen here, guys. So this was a watch that was specially commissioned. So this watch was actually created in 2014, and it was about 10 years after the Patek Philippe 3940 actually ended production at Patek Philippe. So, Michael Ovitz, who was the former head of Disney, big VVIP Patek Philippe collector, he went to Patek Philippe and said, look, I want you to remake that watch for me, and I want it to be customized. So I'll tell you guys what's customized here on this watch. Number one, you got Breguet numerals on a 3940, very rare. You've got Michael Ovitz's signature, his logo right here on the sub dial with the moon phase. You have luminous hands, which was not on the 3940. So definitely, Michael Ovitz requested a really customized watch, 10 years after it ended production. So Patrick B is asking, if you could recommission your watch from Rolex. This is a really good question. Which watch would you get? Like, because honestly, if I had the VVVIP status at Patek Philippe to recreate a watch, I don't know if I'd go for the 3940. It's a legendary watch. Don't get me wrong, cool piece. No shade toward this watch, but there's a lot more. There's a lot of other watches from Patek Philippe I would have probably commissioned. The 2523, which is the famous world time that you guys see. Some vintage world time, and a lot of different pieces, right? So questions about Rolex. What would I recommission from Rolex? So I know I've asked this question to a few people, and I'll show you what they said to me. So I asked Higgins this question, and Higgins' recommission was the Rolex 6542. That is the OG GMT Master 2. I'll show you guys a picture of it here on the screen. So this is the Bakelite bezel, original GMT Master, not GMT Master 2, original GMT Master. And so this is the watch that Higgins said he would ask or commission from Rolex to recreate. Now, I mean, I don't know if Rolex could recreate it exactly the way you'd want it, right? Because this was obviously a radium dial. And so with the radium dial, it's, I think this watch had a recall specifically in the US. Somebody mentioned that it's about either leaking radium from the insert or the insert hat radium on it, but there was some kind of a health risk associated to the radium and the Bakelite bezel. So a lot of the 6542s had their bezels replaced way back in the day, and that's why finding an original 6542 with a Bakelite bezel is super rare. A lot of them crack; they're brittle. What's going on, Negroni? Nice to see you, man. Yeah, Skyden says you'll have a 6542 all day long. So 1655 is the Steve McQueen, I believe. I'll pull this up from my boy Thomas Burnett, Rolex 1655, and that is the Steve McQueen. So that is the original Explorer 2. I'll find a good picture here. Yeah, Win Vintage seems to have some decent pictures. That's where I got the other one from. So I'm going to pull this one up from Win Vintage as well. Original Explorer 2. So for those that don't know, so obviously the Explorer 2 today is a GMT. It's a GMT watch, GMT complication. But in the original Explorer 2, it was like a day-night indicator. Is really what it was. It was made. The watch was made for like spelunking, like for you to tell, like what was it. You kind of the hand was fixed. There wasn't like it wasn't used as a GMT, for example, right? So it has a different purpose, more or less to track day night when you're in a cave. Like, and again, for really, really specific purpose for this watch that Rolex, I think, eventually kind of understood that like ain't a lot of motherfuckers going into caves. So it's probably a very small target, even though it's a cool story, right? Like exploring caves has got that mystique to it, but there just ain't a lot of like people doing it. So they ended up pivoting this watch to a GMT, but really, really cool piece. The Steve McQueen. I don't think it was ever. They call it the Steve McQueen, but I don't think they ever actually verified if Steve McQueen ever owned a watch like this, or I don't know what the exact story is. But this is the Steve McQueen. We got Patrick B, $5. My recommission wish is the 6062 white dial, star index, triple date, moon phase, yellow gold jubilee. All right, so I'll pull up a Rolex 6062. And we'll have a look on the screen. Okay, so triple calendar moon phase, introducing Basel in the 50s. Beautiful. I'll pull this up. One of the cool things about Rolex in their moon phases are, Rolex moon phases from vintage era used to have the little face on the moon phase, which was like, it's really cool. I remember Disarez Dis had asked that question: which brands have the face of the moon on the moon phase? And I actually responded in a super chat saying, contrary to popular, it's not very well known, but Rolex actually used to do this, and this is a good example of it. Gives me Rolex Padalone vibes. It gives me Bao Dai vibes. I'll show you guys the Patalone. So I'm gonna show you the Patalone that I thought that Rolex. Honestly, like if they were gonna revamp the Cellini line, you know, I know there's a lot of fans of the 1908 and stuff like that. But you know, for me, if they were going to revamp the Cellini line, like this Patalone, in my opinion, would have been the home run. I think if Rolex came out with this watch, modern size today, yellow gold on a Jubilee, rose gold, or whatever, fucking Bob's watches with its stupid ads. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, like it's to me, the reason why the Cellini line always historically struggled was there's just no Rolex DNA in it, right? Like you look at a Cellini and you think of it's just a dress watch, right? It's Calatrava, whatever, right? Like it's not, there's no Rolex DNA in it, right? Yeah, sure, you can throw the crown on it or, you know, add a little bit of detail that maybe have a little bit of Rolex in it, but like really the watch didn't have, you wouldn't be able to look at the watch and be like, that's a Rolex. And I think that's very core to the brand. I think it's very important for Rolexes to actually, you know, showcase that DNA. And if you think about it, right, if you think like, because when I first started collecting watches, I remember going into the AD and they had you know, they had the black GMT and they have the black sub, right? And at the time, I didn't know what the fucking difference was between them. I'm looking at them, I'm like, I mean, they look kind of the same to me, right? And I think in layman's terms and to most people that see them, yeah, they kind of just look the same, but you know that they're a Rolex. The fluted bezel, right? If you think of like you know, if you kind of change lines from the sport lines, which are very identifiable through the DNA of the Submariner. If you kind of pivot into the dress lines, where you got kind of the date just, you've got the date, right? The fluted bezel, right? That's Rolex's brand, like that's their symbol, you know, of their brand. You know, when they're out there, you know, at Formula One or at, you know, tennis events or whatever, it's not the Submariner clock that they put up. They put up the fluted bezel, you know, which is obviously either the date 8 or the date just, or the Skydweller and a lot of other pieces, but mainly date 8 and date just, right? So, you know, again, Rolex DNA. So that's why I say, you know, Patrick B, if they were going to release a watch like the 6062, which I think is an amazing watch, and I think, you know, this kind of character of this watch would allow them to move upstream into, you know, Patek Philippe territory, AP territory, even though like arguably, you know, most new collectors consider them there, right? I remember talking to somebody, a fan offline, and you know, they said, well, I was listening to the show a couple of years ago, and some guy came on saying the Rolex Daytona is high horology, and they were like, well, what the fuck is this? You know, just because in the modern day, obviously Rolex is very popular, just like as it was before. With the prices of Rolex going up and up and up, people start kind of, you know, it becomes an opportunity cost situation, right? Well, what am I going to spend my 55 grand on a Meteorite Pepsi, or do I spend my 55 grand on, you know, a Patek Philippe complication, right? It kind of elevates that way with the way the prices have gone up for these pieces. But realistically, I think that if Rolex truly wanted to go upstream and go up market, you know, using their DNA, something like this, where they can then implement either, you know, complications, high horology, whatever they want to do. Yeah, I think that is a better strategy for them. So yeah, your 6062 is a great choice. For me, I'm going to be a little bit, I got to find that. I remember looking this up when they asked me this question too, and it was not the easiest to find, at least a good image. But I'm going to pull up see, this is the reason this isn't even that good is because you're kind of missing, and I'll explain to you why when I pull the photo up here. But for me, my recommission watch would be the Rolex 6538 Submariner. This is the big crown Submariner. The part that I'm a little disappointed in this picture, but I remember looking for this photo before, was it doesn't have the red triangle. It should have you know, obviously at the loom pip, it should be a big red triangle. It must have faded off or what have you. Now, the cool part about this watch is it is a 369 Explorer dial. Very rare. So I would ask Rolex to commission, and I'd take the 37 mil. I would keep the size. Yeah, because and contrary to a lot of people that don't know, I mean, Submariners, you know, were 37 mil watches when they first came out. So for me, I would, and everyone's kind of, you know, if you think of the Black Bay 54, you get that vibe, right? It's the one watch I've ever worn, and I collect a lot of vintage watches. I used to own a Rolex 1680 Red Sub and many other pieces. But when I tried on when I bought the Black Bay 54, it was the only real watch that felt modern, but also really gave off that vintage vibe. Very thin watch, you know, it's a 37 mil watch. But that watch specifically would have driven me to you know, to get, you know, or to recommission a 6538. Obviously, I want something a bit more special. So for those that don't know, this is also called the Dr. No. This is the watch featured in the Dr. No film, as well as I think Goldfinger. I'm not sure about From Russia with Love, but didn't have the 369 Explorer dial, but this is a special. I mean, it's just a different variant of it, but one of my favorites. That's the one I would recommission from Rolex. I mean, any in the chat, you guys want to drop in? If you could ask Rolex to make you any watch, right, of their entire catalog they've ever made over time, what would you get, right? I mean, Thomas Burnett gave it to us with the, you know, the 1655, which is the Steve McQueen. Whole Milk says Higgy would take a Dremel to, you know, referring to Higgy, I think, you know, really destroying the lugs on his Kermit or something. I don't know, or the crown guards on his Kermit or something. Yeah, I think it's the crown guards. But yeah, look, like I think that you know, Skies and Boys wants the King Midas. You know, and the King Midas, I think in today's day and age, may actually, as a production model, I don't think would be very successful. But I do think that, like, yeah, like, you know, quirky. Thing about Rolex, a lot of people don't know about Rolex is Rolex has a lot of quirky. You know, they made a lot of quirky stuff over time. A lot of folks don't know that Rolex made a world time. I think I showed this to Archie like not too long ago, where I showed him the Rolex World Time pocket watch, and it really hard to decipher when you look at it, because you're just like, you know, well, you know, if you didn't see the name of the brand, you would just think that this is Patek Philippe, but obviously it's Rolex. You know, and again, they've done a lot of quirky watches out in the past, but I really believe that their strength is in keeping their DNA and keeping their DNA pretty strong. I just think that, like, when you're looking at something like this, you know, you have some Rolex DNA, but I think if they kind of amped it up, it would be a lot better. We got a $10 super chat from Frank V. Thank you so much, Frank V. He says, how Rolex made complications back then on smaller diameter. Today, higher movement in Rolex only fits 42 mil Sky Dweller and 44 Yachtmaster 2. I do prefer my watches 42 mil and up, but still curious to know. You know, honestly, back in the day, it was all about smaller watches, thinner movements. Like, I mean, that was the art, was being able to build a watch, you know, that was complex, or, you know, that had some kind of ingenuity to it, that was able to fit in a small space. That was the real challenge for watchmakers. Miniaturizing it was the real challenge. So what Frank V is alluding to is the fact that, you know, Rolex is only real, you know, when you kind of talk about complications, we're getting past just like day date or day and date kind of a thing, or even chronograph. It's, you know, he's talking about, you know, annual calendar. You know, he's talking about the regatta system from the Yachtmaster 2. I believe the Yachtmaster 2 is the more complicated of the two, versus the Sky Dweller. Again, I think there was a big debate about that. Bear felt one way about the Sky Dweller, and I think others felt another way about the Yachtmaster. But look, the point is that in today's day and age, and I'll give you a good example of it, is you know, brands want to, they want to you know, they want to satisfy their clients, and clients, you know, don't want small watches. And this is an interesting example of it. So this is a Patek Philippe 6119. You can see here the movement. So this case is 39 mils. Okay. The previous version of the basic Calatrava, let's say it's the 5196 or even the 5119. The 5119 was a lot smaller than this. I think the 5119 was like, if I'm not mistaken, was like 36 or 37, because the 3919 before this was like a 33 mil. So they just made the watch bigger. And everybody makes fun of the 5196 because it uses the 215 movement, which is super small for the watch. Patek Philippe doesn't even open the case back for it. They don't have a display case back because it looks so ridiculous with like a spacer and all this shit. So in today's day and age, Frank V, like, you know, customers want bigger watches. And essentially, when you have a bigger watch, well, you don't want a smaller movement in it. You want, you know, a movement to fit the watch. It just looks stupid if it has a smaller movement. So this is a good example of you know, a brand, you know, enlarging the watch, but also then recreating a movement or creating a new movement that will fit the watch because it's aesthetically pleasing to the buyer. It's the buyer doesn't want a smaller movement. So I don't think it's Rolex can't do it. I just think Rolex chooses not to. So that's really the way I see it between those. I don't think it's a you know, a situation of not being capable of making the movement, right? And look, understand the Swiss watch industry is, and if you haven't really kind of kept up with how watch manufacturers work, vertical integration is still pretty rare. You have some of the conglomerates, obviously, that have vertical integration, but you do have a lot of watch manufacturers that buy parts from many suppliers, right? It's very commonly known that Moser Precision Engineering, their department that makes hairsprings, make it for a lot of different brands. Kerry makes, he does commission work for other brands and whatnot. You see it with movement makers, Valjoux, ETA. They still produce movements. For others, JLC produce, for example, the movement of the Royal Oak up until the 15202 was discontinued. Like they buy a lot of stuff from other players. So I wouldn't even it's not that Rolex doesn't have the expertise in house. They have enough money to hire whichever movement designer they want to hire that can make pretty much whatever they want, right? Whether that's perpetual calendar chronograph, or if they wanted to make a pocket watch that was like the most complicated in the world, Rolex could do it. They've got enough money to do it. It's just, again, that's not their brand. That's not what their MO is. That's not really what their mission statement is, right? Like, Rolex was a tool watch brand. Really focuses its growth on, marketing is a big part of Rolex, right? Hans Wilsdorf himself is one of the best marketers around. So, marketing is a big piece to Rolex, but, they tie to sport, they tie to really kind of really taking, either exploration, extreme sport, traditional sport to its, max limit and trying to make the brand associated to that. So that's Rolex, right? They're not the, the refined art piece that you wear on the wrist when you're, at a special occasion. That's not who they are, right? They're not, they're not Vacheron, they're not Patek Philippe, or even to an extent at some point AP, right? Like AP today, if you're a new collector, I mean, AP is all Royal Oak, Royal Oak, Royal Oak. But realistically, when you're looking at AP, historically, I mean, they have a lot of history with the perpetual calendar. AP actually, for those that don't know, AP created they have a world first on the perpetual calendar. They have the world first leap year indicator. So I guess most people would be like, oh, it's not a big deal, right? Like, who gives a fuck about a leap year indicator? But still, I mean, they had an interest in making those type of watches back in the day. They don't today, but again, right? To me, that's really why I think Rolex kind of fits watches into larger cases. It's not a I don't think it's a technical limitation or they're not capable of it. I think that's more just consumer taste. We got John Galt reminding us of the famous and rare red Milgauss that only Mike the Snake has seen. JMS noticed the Archie channel was streaming, saw that the most boring member of the Archieverse was on, and immediately checked out. Appreciate that. We've got Whole Milk. Hey, Billy Jeans. Yep, nice to see Billy Jeans in the chat. Big Tony. Those thin, small movements were delicate compared to today's movements. Yep, I mean, that was again, that's not a surprising statement, I would say, but I don't think it really. I don't think the argument, the analogy really is that good because again, a lot of movement if you open up like old, old watches, old Patek Philippe's, old, they don't have, they do have obviously a lot of the decorations they have today, but there are a lot of modernized things that are out there, in terms of today's movements, focusing on, like think of silicone hairsprings is a good example, right? So, in the past, you wouldn't see silicone hairsprings. You see a traditional hairspring. Silicone hairsprings were kind of the faux pas in high horology. It was, you're kind of putting plastic or a composite that's like pretty cheap into an art piece. They said so. Geneva Seal, I believe, didn't allow silicone hairsprings. And Patek Philippe takes a lot of flack for it. With their silicone hairspring, but again, it's functional. It's more functional for today. People don't want magnetized watches. However, in the past, your watch would be magnetized all day long. So it's like, yeah, I understand that the movements are more robust today, but that's by design, and even probably Patek Philippe's themselves have more robust movements than they did maybe even in the past. 6541 Milgauss with the bezel. So this is the OG Milgauss. I'll pull you guys up this 6541, one of my favorite watches. I truly believe, and I said this to Archie and a bunch of folks, that if Rolex brought this watch out again, it would, it would. I gotta find a good photo, man. Let's go to Fratello watches. They usually have pretty decent photos. So this here is the Milgauss. Let me get you a better photo here. So 6541 Milgauss is the original Milgauss. I think if Rolex brought this watch out again in this design, it would be a home run. I think it would be a big hit. I just think that Rolex, this lineup, it is very redundant right now. When you think of Milgauss or 1,000 Gauss, resistance, like, I mean, that's, I mean, Metas is way beyond that, right? In your run of the mill Speedmaster. So, the Milgauss is pretty obsolete. It's a quirky watch. It's a cool concept. It was built for scientists. It's got a cool story, but outside of a bit of nostalgia and and stuff like that, like, I think Rolex, if they're trying to bring this back, they're gonna have to amp up the Milgauss, which by design or by essence, the name Milgauss would change, because why would you just want Milgauss? You probably want something that's Meta certified, that's much more resistant. But hey, I think that the 6541, beautiful watch. I think it's if they brought that out again, it'd be a hit. But yeah. Let me keep going through the chat. We got Brother Neo in the chat, who's, I don't know if he's given up the golden path or if we're still on the golden path, Neo. I'm just doing some watch talk right now. Just talking to the punters in the chat, talk about whatever they want to talk about. Patrick B, AP does have some incredible history of accomplishing cool watches. Yeah, look, AP's got a lot of cool pieces. Everybody kind of, beelines to the Royal Oak. And look, the Royal Oak's got a great story. I've told it many times. The mystique of the Royal Oak is pretty interesting. They AP tries to tell the story that they're the ones who came up with, they didn't come up with this idea. It was actually AP at the time was struggling as a business, and they reached out to a distributor that they wanted to sign a contract with to distribute their watches, and that distributor actually asked for a steel sports piece. So that's where AP then goes to Gerald Genta. Gerald Genta sketches it, and one night and whatever, and kind of the rest is history. So. Cool story, cool watch, saved the brand. But I can name a lot of watches. Like, if you think of brand-saving watches, obviously the Royal Oak is the best-known story. Other brand-saving watches, for example, Patek Philippe, the Calatrava, 1932, when the original owners of Patek Philippe, I mean, the businesses in shambles, were in the Great Depression. The Stern family is the Stern Frere company, were the dial makers for Patek Philippe. And I believe it was either Jaeger or Lecoutre at the time. I think it might have been Jaeger. I'm not sure. Were the movement makers. So, they were bidding to buy Patek Philippe, and obviously the Sterns won out on the bid. They became the patrons or the owners now of Patek Philippe, and then they come out in 1932 with the Calatrava, the reference 96, which then reinvigorated sales for the brand. So, for a watch that in today's day and age people find simple, people find grandpa watch or whatever. Like, that watch is very, very important to the brand, to the point where they call the Calatrava reference 96 in whatever iteration it currently is. So the last iteration was the 5196, which Archie used to have, and I think was stolen in the burglary. They call it Le Grand Classique in the manufacturer, which means the big classic or the grand classic. So whenever you hear Archie say a grand classique from Patek Philippe, it's in reference to the original Calatrava 96. But yeah, look, I mean, there's lots of examples of specific iconic watches to a brand that either saved the brand or built the brand, gave it notoriety. Like, I wouldn't say saved the brand, but think of Lange, right? Like, you got the Datograph, like that watch when it hit the scene, like, big name for Lange, right? Big embarrassment for the other manufacturers that were taking Ibosch movement, like Valjoux movements, and making a chronograph, where the Datograph comes out, completely in-house, very well finished, really took the market by storm, and really, in my opinion, really gave a name to Lange. So, a lot of watches out there that could be considered iconics in that sense. Thomas Burnett, the Jules Audemars Perpetuals were beautiful. AP should be digging into their back catalog and resurrecting some of their classics. Instead, everyone just focuses on 50-meter water-resistant Royal Oaks. Yeah, look, and I mean, AP is an independent, guys. Like, let's not get it wrong. Like, AP is not owned by a conglomerate. They're not Richemont. They're an independent, so they can kind of do whatever they want. And I just think that brand they've dug themselves in a hole that they can't get out of. And the analogy I would say is, when people ask Thierry Stern around, like, well, why don't you just pump out more Nautiluses or Nautili, whatever, or Maraquinauts? Why don't you just pump them out, and just pump out more steel watches, because that's what your customers want. Like, we don't want these, like, gold old men dress watches. We want the fucking sports watches, and we want them in steel. And Thierry Stern said, look, use the example of IWC. IWC was a precious metal only company until they went steel. And he's like, when they went steel, he's like, there was no turning back. So I feel that AP is kind of in the same boat. They kind of, and everybody will know it's a one trick pony, but they went so heavy in the Royal Oak lineup, and they're so defined by that watch. They're so typecast by that watch that, like, coming out with a circular piece like the Code 1159. Look, I'm a big hater of the Code 1159. I know there's a lot of people that own them that are really like excited about them, and I do understand it's got a cool design, it's got some cool tech in it, some cool features. I like it, but I don't think it was the watch to save the brand or be the next line. I really don't. I think getting more accessibility into the brand may have been a better choice. For example, in the Vacheron 56, I'll pull up a Vacheron 56 for you guys. And what I mean here, Vacheron Constantin, not the Historiques lineup. Let's go to watches, and let's go to collections, and the 56, the 56. So here on the 56, you can see the 56 is very similar to the Code 1159. Like Vacheron, uses this platform to, put, either complications or other things in it, like a tourbillon. You can see here, 56 tourbillon. You can see complete calendars here. You can see date. And honestly, they didn't get probably a lot of traction off this that I think they could have built more high complications off of. But realistically, it was this watch that they came out with. So this was, again, it's not a circular watch. It's a tonneau shaped, I guess. It's like, it is circular, but it's got a bit of the tonneau shape. I don't know. It's just not just circular. And I think for this brand, with Vacheron, what they tried to do is they tried to make it more accessible. Now, what they just failed on was they didn't put a Geneva seal on it. And I think if you put a Geneva seal on a $17,000 steel watch, right? I mean, that starts to become accessible for people on the secondhand market. Like, you're probably this watch may trade for 10, 11K, like for a Vacheron with a Geneva seal. Like, for somebody who's just getting into high horology, that's not a big step. It's not, I mean, it's cheaper than a lot of Rolexes. So, I think that they really, they could have probably cut a bit into their margin and made this a Geneva seal, but they chose not to. And that's why this watch really kind of, like, people are like, oh, like, I don't want to spend more money to get the Geneva seal. Like, I wanted it in the entry level. I think making more accessible watches, and by accessible, I still mean like expensive. I don't mean like fucking $2,000 watches. But I think, like, changing it up, making it, getting more people into the brand. I don't think the Code is really the move in that sense. And I find the Code really boring. Like, people would think this is boring, but I think the Vacheron had the right idea, because what they were looking for were the Rolex collectors that wanted to go upstream, but it was such a jump. And there's a classic example of this. The annual calendar, for those that aren't aware, the annual calendar was created in 1996. So it's a relatively new complication. Like, it's not that old. It's 30 some, years old or whatever, right? Like, it's not that complicated not that old of a complication. So in the annual calendar, the reason it was created was, you had the entry level Patek Philippe, the Calatravas, which I think at the time were like $9,000, and there was the 3919, which was $9,000. It was the predecessor of the watch I had up on the screen earlier, and then you had the perpetual calendar, the 3940, which was $45,000. So huge leap, and it was very hard there was no progression in the brand to get to the perpetual calendar, which is where everybody wanted to get. So what Patek Philippe did is they created kind of that mid-level, and the mid-level is not even that different. Like, if you go from $9,000, the annual calendar, the 5035, the one Archie used to own, the first annual calendar ever in the world, that was about $17,000 when it came out. So, again, it's that, right? Like, and $17,000 was still quite expensive compared to a Rolex. I mean, Rolexes, I remember Rolexes you can get for, $5,000, $4,000. Like, they weren't that expensive. It's still significantly more, but still accessible. And that's what Vacheron was trying to do. They were trying to capture that market that was trying to go upstream. I think they just kind of missed the mark. If they had put the Geneva seal on this, it would have got a lot more fanfare, and I think would have been a lot better. But hey, I'm just a VC supporter, so it is what it is. I'd rather do watch talk and shit talk. All good, we can talk whatever, man. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm just killing time to Archie guests here. Promising you guys with a bit of watch talk. We haven't done a lot of watch talk, man. But I do love my watch talk, and I know you guys do. And you know, it's kind of hard sometimes to get Archie to pull stuff up. But if you guys want me to pull stuff up, you can super chat. You know, you can type in the chat. More than happy to do it. 11:59 Swatch. Yeah, I mean, it could be a cool collab. 11:59 with Swatch. Why not? What else? What else? What else? The VC Overseas, Sammy Ross. VC Overseas is one of the best balanced watch I've tried on. So I'll pull up the VC Overseas. Obviously, a lot of folks do like the VC Overseas. And look, a lot of folks do gravitate to the sports lineups in high horology, whether that's AP, that's Patek Philippe, or that's Vacheron. Like everybody does, right? Because you know it's what's in vogue right now. Vacheron Overseas. Go to the full collection. 44 watches. There's a lot of watches in this collection. So definitely kind of getting like Royal Oak vibes. You know, when you have 44 watches in that collection, but the 56 has significantly less, like you can tell where they're kind of leaning in as a brand. But yeah, look, the Overseas, I love it in this rose gold or pink gold setup. But you know, again, really cool watch. I mean, you got a Geneva seal movement, you got a Geneva seal case, you've got, you know, a quick change strap system. You just got everything. You really, like, Vacheron here brings a ton of value for the money. You know, the 4500V, I think, in the steel, it's down a lot. Either it's at retail or it's below retail. Like it's either like low to mid 20s right now. I mean, think about it. That's like secondhand market or used market Pepsi prices. Or even a little bit higher than Hulk prices, like that, to get a VC that's like Geneva seal with all the cool, like, you know, quick change strap stuff and a bunch of straps and, you know, gold roller, like you're getting a lot for your money with a VC Overseas compared to, for example, a Pepsi or a Hulk. Like I would say that from an opportunity cost perspective, that's really kind of where VC and these other like high horology brands that are struggling, in my opinion, to get either a new clientele or just to revamp what they want to revamp, right? And like not become a one-trick pony. Like that's the clientele that they want to attract is, you know, the Rolex collectors that are looking to move upstream, right? And a lot have moved upstream because just, you know, Rolexes went up, they made money, and then they're like, fuck, I can buy an Aquanaut now. And then they bought it, right? Similar to, you know, I did notice that this happened kind of in the reverse with the Speedmaster Moonwatch. So maybe 2017, 2018, there was rumors that Omega was dumping Speedmaster Moonwatches onto Joma Shop. And you could get like a Speedy Moonwatch for like, I think like the high twos at the time, low threes, high twos, something like that, you know, high twos, something really cheap that it was to the point where if you were a Longines collector or you were a Hamilton collector, like it wasn't that much of a stretch to just not buy another $1,000 watch and just get, you know, and flick maybe one of your watches and get a Speedy Moonwatch, which is a luxury watch, has the history, has the iconic status. At that time, that kind of ruined it for me with the Speedmaster. I was a big Moonwatch guy before that, and it just, you know, I don't know if it's a snob, the watch snob in me, because at the time, I mean, we're talking, you know, 10 of 2017 is a different guy than me today. You know, the snobbery was a big thing, I think, in watches for me, and just like everybody, right? Like, I'm not a guy who's gonna lie about it and not say that I wasn't a watch snob. I was a watch snob, you know, as they come, like as everybody knows. So, you know, when I see that, like, you know, when I go to Red Bar and I see, like, you know, people that I know in the community that like are straight up like Hamilton collectors and Longines collectors because they never want to buy, you know, a luxury watch. They don't want to spend the money. Like they just like, you know, they all bought like Moonwatches because it was so cheap. So for me, it kind of like ruined it for me. I was like, fuck, this is supposed to be like, you know, Archie, you know, because I'm watching Archie and he's like, oh, man on the moon, right? You got to get yourself a Moonwatch. Like that is the chronograph to get. Well, now fuck, everybody's got it, right? So kind of ruined it for me. Never got that vibe from the Moonswatch. I think the Moonswatch is just, it's really good to get people in the watches. I've given it to family members that have got them actually wearing it because they're just like, fuck, you know, I don't really want to charge my Apple Watch tonight, right? So they'll just pick up their Moonwatch, the Moonswatch, and they'll just go and they'll wear it, right? So, you know, I think that was a cooler thing to get, you know, the younger crowd into watches. But yeah, just when Omega did that, it just kind of ruined it for me. But hey, they've done some cooler things since. So I'm back to liking Omega. Got no beef with them. It's all good. Skies and boys, looking forward to what Breitling do with Universal Genève. Yeah, that's a lot of people are wondering about Universal Genève. I'll pull up my favorite Universal Genève. See if I can find a good picture of it. I struggle to find good pictures. A former panelist on the show who used to do watch shows with me here on Archie, Jin Vintenier, he loved Universal Genève, and I'm gonna pull up my favorite Universal Genève if I can get a. It's not even that great of a picture, but I'll still pull it up anyways. It is the pole router, Gerald Genta design. I mean, not really that much to this design. I mean, it's cool, but you know, not like anything that's groundbreaking. You know, those lugs. I mean, like people are like, oh, I got the same lugs on my Speedmaster. Like, you know what I mean? But pole router, cool watch, classic Universal Genève tuxedo version. One of my favorite pieces. I actually tried to hunt these down years ago. I believe they either have like the bumper movement or they have like the micro rotor movement. Because Higgins likes to point out the fact that I think Universal Genève tried to sue Patek Philippe because I think the movement designer ended up moving there. The one that designed the micro rotor for the pole router, ended up moving to Patek Philippe, created the 240 movement, the famous micro rotor movement for Patek Philippe, and then Patek got sued by Universal Genève. I think Universal Genève lost that case, but yeah, look, the Universal Genève pole router is the watch of choice for me. That dial looks a little like the Rolex tuxedo dial. Yeah, it is called the tuxedo dial. Rich Mitch says he's got a pole router. Look, pole routers are cool, man. I like the pole routers. Shout out to Vintenier, the Gin Tingler, if he's listening. Because he was a big Universal Genève guy. When I first met him, I think the first day I met him, this was years ago, him and I used to stream together. Like I said, we were the panelists with Archie. And I flew out to Toronto, and he met up with me. He actually like lived only a few blocks from the apartment I had in Toronto. And he just came up and showed up with a compact stat, the Universal Genève compacts. Hold on, Higgy baby, it's a little late for you over in Germany.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. You want to talk watches, man?
Yeah. What's the narrative for today?
Nah, honestly, you know what's funny? The only watch I had prepared, it wasn't even the Laurent Ferrier Gallet, but since you're on, I can bring that up. Did you see the Chaikin Stargazer?
Seen that.
Yeah, I actually thought it was pretty cool, man. Like, I don't know if you had a chance to review it or not, but I mean, you got the light side and you got the dark side, right? Like, pretty cool. You got the zodiac calendar. You've got a retrograde date. You've got you got a lot of complications in this watch, man. This is pretty neat.
If you're into that kind of shit, that gets your juices flowing, I guess. Yes.
Well, I mean, let's look at these complications there, Higgy baby. You've got, this isn't some basic, like, because I mean, Higgy's probably referring to the Joker or the original Konstantin Chaikin piece. And I'll show you the Joker here real quick. Now, this has an ETA 2824 movement, completely different than this piece. Dark side has regulator display for solar hours and minutes, length of day, length of night. Cool. Equation of time. That's pretty cool. Retrograde day of the week. Zodiac indicator. Celestial map of northern hemisphere. 24-hour mean solar times. And then the flip side, because this watch is it's a two-sided watch. So when you flip it over, you've got what's called the light side. So this is the light side of the watch. And on the light side, you have astronomic precision, moon phase. Yeah, okay, cool. 4-stage discrete moon phase indicator there, Higgy. World first.
Yeah, if I'm buying that watch, I must have a degree in astronomy, I guess.
Yeah, look, it's I can't fault Konstantin Chaikin for. I mean, this is an in-house movement as well. This is not
no. There is nothing wrong with the watch and with the complications. It's just not. I still see the Joker face, and
but that's what I think is cool about it. Is he made a watch that is Chaikin. Like, when you look at this watch, when I first saw this come up on the screen, I'm like, that's a Chaikin. Like, what is this? Is this another 2824 movement that he's modified? But no, it's a completely in-house movement. Crazy amount of complications. And he still kept his DNA, Higgy baby. What Rolex didn't do with the Paralone or the Cellini line, Chaikin kept his DNA, and I think that's important.
I can't criticize you. You're not wrong here.
All right, let's pull up what you wanted to talk about, Higgy baby. The Laurent Ferrier Gallet Traveler World Time, or World with the Cloisonné enamel dial. Let's pull up some photos here. All right, Higgy, why don't you Why don't you take us away with what is cool about this piece?
Yeah, I think you have to pull up that Chrono 24 auction that I sent you, because it's a beautiful watch, but the photography on this particular sales ad is really outstanding, and that is what really interested me. Can you?
Yep, I got it here. I got the link here. Just 1 second. Share tab. All right, here we go. All right, so here is the Chrono 24 ad. I'm gonna pull up the photo, scroll through the photos here for you.
Yeah, you know that I'm criticizing all other companies because of the lack of details in the borders, in the cloisons, which is called so cloisons are those little gold rolled borders that you can see here that separate the different layers of enamel, and but here I'm very forgiving, because I love the contrast between the translucent sea or lake or ocean and the land mass. And the photography here is outstanding, emphasizing that with the shadow, and it just looks amazing. And that is the old style of enamel cloisonné that you often see with Rolex watches or with Pateks, that they did the contrast between the not transparent enamel types and the total translucent parts, and that got me really intrigued and thrilled. And of course, Patel, you know about the merits of the movement. This is a natural escapement. And do you remember what that means?
No, I don't care about the natural escapement. We got Russell 996.
We had an entire show. We had an entire show.
I know we did. I know we did, and I'm tired of talking about it. That's why I really don't want to get into it. And just look, I'll tell you why. Right, that night with Bernard Leader, I was like, I told you I had like the red eye flight, and it was like a 24-hour fucking like debacle getting to Birmingham. And when I get there, you're like, you have to be on the show. We have to talk escapement. So we have, and Bernard, and it was just like, I never want to talk about that ever again in my life. So
all excuses. So natural escapement, the Swiss anchor escapement, just like Bernhard Lederer said, is not very efficient. Basically, you lose over 60% of the power in the escapement here. Because it's just grinding and squeaking and breaking down the motion of the anchor when it touches the anchor wheel. So there was an invent from Abraham Louis Breguet, who tried to get around that to improve it, and he used 2 escapement wheels versus 1.
By the way, just in case you think I don't know what it is, hey, there you go. So there. Okay. We got this is why I have PTSD from like that show, because we did the exact same thing then, and I was like, oh, I had all the pictures and
yeah.
All right, here, but this is actually this is a George Daniels picture.
Yeah.
So see your George Daniels at the bottom.
So Bernhard Lederer also taught me something that I didn't know. He said, no. Can you go up again? Because he told me stopping friction is much stronger than pushing friction, and so when people say, yeah, the natural escapement is still having a kind of friction, that is more the how do you say the so the moving friction and not the stopping friction. So it is much more efficient. Abraham Louis Breguet didn't manage to do that. Now Laurent Ferrier is combining those 2 escapement wheels, and those 2 escapement wheels are touching each other. So he kind of made something very unique, because Breguet's invention was that on the escapement wheel you have another gear, and those gears are touching each other, and that proved to be inefficient and didn't work well in pocket watches and even in wristwatches then.
Yeah, but are you really buying it? I mean, I know that you hate the natural escapement, so like you obviously wouldn't buy it for that. I know your position on it. That's why I found it funny that you brought it up, because I know you're bringing it up to basically trash it. So
no. No,
yeah. You're like, well,
no,
you know,
I'm not a hater
Bernard,
for natural escapement. But what I'm
and you
criticizing
just
Laurent Ferrier,
found
and maybe
you
you're
just
bringing up.
found
No,
a
wait.
friend in Germany that would, that would give you affirmations to your story that the natural escapement sucks, and you've been on this tear about natural escapements and why they suck since you had that chat with Bernard Leder. That's why I didn't want to bring it up.
You're totally wrong, because
Mm.
the natural escapement of Bernard Leder is a piece of genius. So I'm not shitting on natural escapements, but I'm going to show you the flaws of Laurent Ferrier's natural escapement if you can pull up one.
Yeah, here, hold on. Laurent Ferrier. All right. Hold on.
And I'm going to show you my beef with this escapement. But it's still better than a normal Swiss anchor escapement found in any random Patek Philippe.
Yeah, here. I got the Breguet one, interestingly enough, but I don't want the Breguet one. I want...
Apes, the Laurent Ferrier Sports Order, in my opinion, is a fantastic sport elegant watch. Here you can see, those are the two escapement wheels, and you can see the toothing is touching each other if that bloody anchor in the middle wouldn't be in the way. But you can see the two escapement wheels are toothed, and they are touching each other. And in my opinion, that is very inefficient. So this takes a lot of energy in that very critical aspect, and that is what I don't like about the natural escapement by Laurent Ferrier. That those two are connected physically and not cleverly by this kind of anchor that Bernard Leder is using.
CB is in the chat. He says a piece unique. I think he meant from Chaikin.
No. He has a Laurent Ferrier Traveler with a micro.
I didn't know that.
Painting.
Yeah, very cool. He said it wasn't not cloisonné on his, but we also got Russ in the chat saying saying cheers. He's enjoying the watch talk.
Hey Russ.
We've got a $5 super chat. Now, this is interesting. Okay, I want to read the super chat. And what's interesting to me, Herman Love, $5. Great show, Tana. Herman hates watch talk. So I know this is disingenuous right off the rip.
He's
Herman.
trolling us.
Yeah, great show, Tana. I heard Urinator is, in fact, Philippe Stern. Yep, probably. Who would win in a cage match between FP Journe and Thierry Stern? Ooh, I'm gonna go with Thierry Stern. He's a big guy. I think Thierry Stern.
Come on!
I think Thierry Stern, the bigger guy, is gonna win it out.
I'm not sure if FP Journe has drunk his liver to death or using other stimulating substances, but my bet would be on FP Journe still.
What, the rage in FP Journe you think is going to drive him to win the little I don't know, if it's a boxing match or a wrestling match or whatever these guys.
I don't see Thierry Stern to be a pretty fit guy. So
no, he's definitely not fit. But I think it's the size advantage that Thierry Stern may have, right? So it's quite possible. It's quite possible. Yeah. But there was other questions. Apes was asking about the Sport Auto. Laurent Ferrier.
Yeah, in my opinion, amazing watch. What I find significant, when this watch was introduced 1.5 years ago, people were ordering like crazy. And I know for fact of a guy who ordered one, he got a confirmation, and he sold his position for 120,000 euros. The watch was 45,000 euros back then. And now the hype is gone, and you can have it. If you check Chrono24, you find new ones around 45,000, which means less 6.5%. The seller is even losing money. And I know that Russ ordered one. Russ, what happened with yours? I think yours is due to be. So in my opinion, this watch is hands down way better than a Nautilus, way better than an AP Royal Oak, way better than a Vacheron overseas. I personally would prefer that over an Odysseus.
Ooh, that's a big statement. You'd prefer the Sport Auto over a Lange itself. Wow.
Indeed.
Wow. Is it because of the finishing? Is it because you like the style? What is it, man?
I don't like the Odysseus. You know, the attachment of the metal bracelet. I never liked that. So I'm here with Laurent Ferrier.
Beautiful finishing, obviously cool watch. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with Laurent. It was funny because Kelsowitz was, he was all about Laurent Ferrier. He was, he loved everything about the watch except for the brand. He didn't like the brand, and he says, like there's just no community to talk about these watches with, like unlike with Lange, Patek Philippe, Vacheron, whatever, right? Like he wanted to share the love, and he just didn't like the brand, and I don't know. Because, like you said, these used to be at the time when everything was hyped. Everything was going bonkers. But a lot of watches, and I'll use an example. This example, the Chopard Antarctique, right? Like massive hype. Everybody wanted it on YouTube. I can remember Patrick Philippe, I think, even ordered one or something.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because he's I would never see him wearing that watch or buying that watch. But hey, everybody wanted it. But now, I mean, you can get them either retail. I don't know if they're selling below retail in the secondary. Like
slightly below, as far as I know, yes.
Right. Gronefelds, Principias, right? Now, CB has pointed out, obviously, the basic Gronefelds is one thing. The Chronograph's another thing. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely really hit the market hard. So John C wants Baby Cow. He hasn't paid any money, but you know what? I do things for free as well. Archie's not here.
What? We are doing shit for free here?
We're going to do one
show?
thing for free. We're going to do a quick break for Baby Cow for our boy John C here.
Baby cow going mad in a field. You make me feel so goddamn real. Baby cow going mad in a field. Growing up to be somebody's meal. Baby cow, why don't you shake that ass? And I'll reward you with some blades of grass. Baby cow.
See, Higgins and I are trying to do the opposite of ArchieLuxury, actually give you guys value for your chats, your money, your upvotes, whatever, right? We're here. Higgins, it's midnight over there in Hamburg. Yeah,
it is.
You're up late. We're talking watches. You're hating on the Scheikens. You're loving the Laurent Ferriers. What else has been up in the I checked Wanachrome. Like there really wasn't too many interesting articles. Like what you like the Stoa? You were talking about the Stoa. Tell us about the Stoa.
That Stoa. It is a brand from Pforzheim. So I spell it the southern German way. That is a very limited edition chronograph based on a Valjoux 7750. This is a 3,000 euro watch chronograph with GMT function, and I find it visually very interesting, particularly because it only has that one subdial versus the normal Valjoux 7750 layout.
All right, so we got a super chat from Herman who says he wants to know our thoughts on the Alpine Eagle with the Geneva seal. So I got an Alpine Eagle on the screen. I love LUC Chopard, but the Alpine Eagle is not the watch I would buy from them. I remember that piece you showed me a while back that you love from LUC Chopard. Like that I would agree is a beautiful. I don't know if it was like a jumping hour or I don't know. I remember what it was. Like you showed me like a year ago or 2 years ago or something like that. But that was a cool watch. I don't really like the design of the Alpine Eagle. What about you?
So you mean the Chopard Quattro with the four mainspring barrels?
Yeah, I'll pull that up in a second here while you give your thoughts on the Alpine Eagle if you like it.
I start liking it. Personally, I don't like the dial too much. I know that salmon dials are the hype and the bird's eye interpretation of the structure here on the dial. I can't really love the Alpine Eagle because of the shape. I think, for example, the Laurent Ferrier is much more attractive, but it's also more expensive. The movement, however, on this particular one is beautiful. It's a micro rotor designed by Michel Parmigiani. It's manufactured exclusively for Chopard, this one, and the Geneva seal is just a fantastic movement. I would even rank it over the Laurent Ferrier Sport Order that we just seen, because the Sport Order that we've just seen has the micro rotor, but it doesn't have the natural escapement.
And we've got Sam Davidson has gifted one ArchieLuxury membership. The winner is a good fan of the channel. We got Billy Jeans, who's the winner. So thank you so much, Sam Davidson. We got Rich Mitch, £2 British. I'm enchanted by all this watch stock. Yeah, look, I think Higgy Baby got catfished on here with a bit of watch talk. Now, the name Motu, I think Higgy corrected me on. I thought it was the Hindi word for fatso, but I think it's like it's an island
The
somewhere.
Higgy was always right. It's
Yeah, you're right
Polynesian
here.
for island or
Polynesian for
islet for a
Yes,
small island.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. What was the Chopard that you were saying? You said it's the
Chopard Quattro LUC, I think it's called.
Chopard Quattro.
And it's a limited edition jumping hour.
Limited edition jumping. Yeah, it was a jumping hour. I can remember it. It was Chopard. Well, there's a new 2024 one. I don't know if you saw that one. There's this one. Did you see this one?
Yes, I've seen that. I personally prefer the other one. I think that is not an enamel dial anymore, and I like the contrast between yellow gold and the white enamel dial.
Yeah, let me see if I can find a Chopard Quattro jumping hour. Yeah, I remember the original one, the Spirit 25 that we looked at earlier. Here it is, Spirit 25 jumping hour. There we go. Talk to us about what you like about this watch here, Higgy.
Well, first of all, the movement is a marvel because, just like I said, it has 4 mainspring barrels that are stacked on top of each other. So if you flip it around and have a look at the movement, you see 2 mainspring barrels, but those are 2 stacked over each other. So in total 4. It is also Geneva seal, if I know that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see the Geneva seal?
Ensemble de Genève right there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just like the dial layout. I think it's very harmonic, and it just teases me, contrary to many other plain dialed watches. So here you have a very plain dial, an enamel dial with a jumping hour, unusual complication. But then if you turn it around, you see a lot of technology, a lot of finishing decoration. I really like that watch. It's still available on the Chopard webpage, by the way. It's not a very good seller.
An interesting point, because it seems like you like hybrid technology, Higgy Baby. I've been Russ, by the way, Higgins has been. I've been telling Higgins because the new Lamborghini Huracan replacement comes out tomorrow. It's going to be unveiled at Monterey Car Week, and it's a plug-in hybrid. And Higgy has been like, "Why do you hate hybrids?" and and why do you hate electric cars and stuff like that? I'm like, look, I'm an ICE guy. I like combustion engines, and Higgy hates the digital display of the Zeitwerk, right? So this isn't really a digital. I mean, it's partly digital, I guess.
It's kind of, yeah. I'm a
That's
hypocrite.
why I was finding
I'm a hypocrite.
Well, no, because it's not completely digital. It's a hybrid, right? Like this is a Higgy trying to complain about the hybrid, saying he likes it. I do think that what's cool about this is they kept it very very balanced on the dial. It's simple, but very beautiful. Did you say it's an enamel dial as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so an enamel dial, very, very cool. But if you look at the back, right, they keep the power reserve in the back. They keep it they keep it fairly clean. They could have made it differently, and they
that would have been awful. The power reserve here on the front. Come on.
Well, exactly, right. Like they actually kept it very well balanced, and I think, when you showed me this watch a couple of years ago, or I really thought that this was spot on. Like what I like about Elie Chopard is really these kind of pieces. Again, I always felt that a lot of these these new sport pieces that the higher end brands are trying to come out with are a little ugly, right? Like the Lange Odysseus to me is an ugly watch. I know it's hyped. It's probably
not. Let's not get carried away. It's not an ugly watch.
Oh, it's an ugly watch. It's an ugly watch.
It's not Lange's finest hour in my opinion.
This is not pretty. Like, I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't know. You're not going to put lipstick on a pig, man. This is not pretty. At least to me, right? Like, it's just not appealing. But
you know what Russ did with his Odysseus, because he put it on an orange rubber strap, and that looks fantastic.
Yeah, look, Russ and I have. I like the straps he chooses, so I think that's the right way to go. I don't like this bracelet. I don't like the design of this watch, and a lot of these brands are, they're all coming out with sport watches. You have the But one that I do like. I'll pull it up here for you. I don't want to
You know what I learned today? That you've been an avid fan and viewer of the Swiss and John show. That's you just told me that a little bit
Why?
earlier.
Why would you say I was an avid fan of the Swiss and John show?
You said when you were in Europe and you were getting a little bit drunk, you were watching the Swiss and John show because ArchieLuxury
They had
show
nothing
was
else
too
to
late
do.
for
Like,
you.
there's nothing fucking on. Like, of course I was. There's nothing fucking on. Of course I'm gonna watch it, right? One piece that I do think that the brand did do really well is the Moser Streamliner. I think this is a beautiful design piece. I've never tried one on. You mentioned the bracelet. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
What was your experience with the Streamliner?
Absolutely fantastic. Just in London, when we were there, I was trying on a Streamliner, and every time that I'm trying one on with that beautiful bracelet, I'm getting hooked. And one day I will get one because, personally, my preference is the chronograph. I think the chronograph layout with the blue smoky dial is just fantastic. But at the moment, I don't have 50,000 laying around to buy this particular watch. But one day I will do.
So I'm going to ask you to switch gears from Higgy, the watch collector / watch enthusiast, to Higgy, the former watch. Obviously you worked at an AD, selling many.
Can we ban Russell? Can we ban Russell?
No, we
for
can
his
never ban.
comment?
We can never ban Russ. We love Russ here. So Higgy, the salesman, the guy who used to sell watches for the brands. Okay, so Herman's saying that Chopard is trouble selling watches, but they make nice pieces. If you were trying to sell a Chopard, like how difficult do you think that would be to sell these kind of watches in either today's day and age, or even I don't know if you ever sold Chopard back when you were selling it.
It is difficult because when I started selling watches, Chopard had a very unique shtick. So there is always, or there was always a segment, elegant leather strap watches with a gold case. So you have, for example, the classic Piaget watch in that range. You also have the Calatrava in that range. But the benchmark kind of was the Piaget yellow gold case, white Roman numerals on the dial. Beautiful classic watch. That sold when I started, if I remember correctly, around 9,000. And Chopard sold a solid gold watch on a leather strap for 3. So they were a price breaker offer in that little segment. So they were offering a similar design, similar quality for a fraction of the price. And that still sticks with a lot of at least German clients. And they have difficulties now to pay similar prices, just like Patek Philippe and Vacheron and all the other big players for Chopard, which is still in their mind should be a price breaker.
What do you think from a brand perspective? I think the only thing that holds people back is the brand name on this, right? If that brand said Lange, if that brand said Patek Philippe, if that brand said something else, right? Like it would, if you put that on the Quattro Spirit 25, like I mean, you're going to get a hit with that. Well, what holds people back from the Chopard brand?
Chopard is also considered to be more a jewelry brand than a watch brand. And I know that Karl Friedrich Schäufele put a lot of effort into changing that by building up that manufacture and doing in-house movements with the LUC. That was a big endeavor, a big challenge for such a small company. And he has my respect. But you have to invite and to tell those stories, and sometimes it sticks with clients, and sometimes clients can't get over those learned patterns, and then they say no. For us, a brand like Vacheron or Patek is more valuable, and I don't see the value of the better movement in a Chopard.
Now, for me, Chopard is similar. Like when I get the sentiment of the brand, I get the similar sentiment from Piaget, right? Like very much known also for jewelry, similar to Cartier. Obviously, those two are dwarfed by Cartier. Cartier is a much more prominent, watch brand, I would say, than those two. But I mean, Piaget, I mean, obviously heavy hitter in terms of watch technology. They were known for making some of the world's thinnest watches. I always got that vibe from Piaget because it's the same thing that kind of holds people back, and this is their sport watch, right? The Piaget Polo, right? Which is not a new sport watch; it's a historic sport watch. But I mean, it's their kind of, that's their lineup for sport watches, which again to me is not the most ideal.
Yeah, I still don't get what this watch really wants to be. Does it want to be a Nautilus clone with a more elegant bracelet, or what is the deal with that watch? I just find it off.
I don't know, but we got Mr. GMT in the chat, so I'm gonna go to a video that was posted not too long ago. I just need I don't even know if I have like. Oh, here we go. Your channel's not that easy to find. Like not your.
Jonathan Quall Higgins III is very easy to find.
Not the other one. But okay, so he made a video called "The Good Old Days."
Yes, and you pointed me on that because you were bored and watching an old Swiss and John show, and I didn't even remember that.
Yo, GMT, I'll tell you what was happening. Right, it was like a few days ago, and I just couldn't sleep. And I'm like, fuck, let me put something boring on that's going to put me to sleep. And then I was like, you know what's boring is a Swiss and John show. So I fucking went back into the Swiss and John show, and I was like, you know what? Because I've obviously
that is such an insult. You couldn't sleep, and you were tuning in the Swiss and John.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening was I looked for an episode, GMT, that was like, I was like, what could really bore me to sleep? And
what could be super boring? Higgins talking about the Lange one.
Exactly. I found a video called, Swiss and John talking Lange one. I'm like, this is gonna put me to sleep because fuck Higgins with his Lange one bullshit, right? So when I clicked the video, GMT, this is his intro. I've never seen this intro before. So I'm gonna play the intro for you guys from the old Swiss and John show. It's a bit of a old school for GMT because he's in the chat. We love GMT. We know he's always listening, but I'll play it. This is on Higgins' channel, so don't strike us here, Higgins. But this one's for you guys.
No sound.
Is it no sound?
No sound.
One sec. Let me fix it. It should be sound. I hear sound. Do you guys not hear sound?
I don't see.
Do you guys hear sound on the video? Video sound?
You don't trust me. I don't hear sound, so I don't. There is no sound.
Oh, it's weird because it's sharing and the sound's on, so I don't know why it wouldn't. Let me just ask in the chat. Let us know in the chat if you guys can hear the sound of the video or not, or if I got to open a new tab because I don't know what the fuck is going on because it usually plays the sound. I do clips all the time. It did it on the Locks report like 2 hours ago. No sound. Okay, so let me go and copy because finding your channel ain't the easiest, Tiggy baby. So let me go to YouTube and let me see if I can get the sound going here for us on the channel. So let me go to the site again. All right, let's see if I'm going to share this tab. Let me know if you can hear the sound now.
I have no sound.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on then. I don't know if your video just sucks or whatever because it's showing sound.
Yeah, because the sound is really. Perth started playing that Mercedes 600 horn, and that became a shtick, and it was just funny.
Let me see if I can find it. Like maybe it's just that video. I don't know because I'm hearing sound. Like that sound's coming through my my headset. So live. So this is what I did, GMT. You can see how many videos I've actually seen, and then I go all the way back. I'm like, what is gonna bore me to fucking sleep, right? And then I go all. I don't know how far back it was, but where's your Lange one?
I think it was called the Lange one. Yes. Yeah. No. You already got it. It is episode number 6. Very at the very beginning. There we go. No sound.
Yeah, it must be me, man, because the sound's up here, so I don't know what is going on. Either way, yeah. So essentially, GMT. Sorry, we couldn't help you with that one, but it was a little retro with Perth Luxury and you and everybody else. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's always cool to see GMT on the panel. We got Mike the Mistake who's saying, Patel, if you can't find the sound, Patel will take your key. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck it's not working. It's
amateur hour here.
Apparently so. So we were back to the Stoa. Let's have the Stoa up here because you were talking to me about the Stoa earlier. What do you like about the Stoa?
What I like is the size is reasonable, 41 millimeter. I like the very slim bezel compared to many other Flieger watches that you see. I like the clearness on the dial. It gives me IWC vibes for a fraction of the price, basically.
At Archie Luxury live stream, can you look at Thomas Burnett's current fave, the Breguet 7147? Breguet 7147. Yeah, I can pull it up. This is I don't know if this is there more description on this? Let me go back to StreamYard. Close-up's pretty nice. Are they comparable white enamel? Okay, so yeah, so it's the classique white enamel Grand Feu. I'll share the tab here from Breguet's website. Grand Feu enamel. You got the Breguet hands. Cool piece.
His favorite is the Grand Feu enamel. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. Grand Feu enamel. I'll just blow this up a little bit. It's a simple piece. It's definitely, for when I think Breguet Classique, this is what I think for it. Maybe even simple. I don't even know if there's just a I think there's one that doesn't even have small seconds on it. So yeah, I like them.
Yeah, but the small second, in my opinion, is the trick. Otherwise, this white enamel dial would be a little bit too big. And I think the off-center small second with that little groove that helps with the recessed track is really good.
Yeah, bro, you're boring everyone to death, man. For fuck's sakes. Hey, brother, 10.
Yo.
What the fuck's going on? You can't even bring up a video to show everyone the good old days, the days that we used to have
Dude, I don't know what the fuck is
what
going on.
What the fuck, bro? You got one job, you can't even do it.
Can't even do that, man. I don't know why that's not working. But
Mr. GMT, why don't you point the camera on your face when you're driving around in circles or in your driving school car?
Yo, I'm not even joking, GMT. I told Higgy the next day, I couldn't sleep. I needed something boring, and then I couldn't, obviously it didn't put me to sleep because I saw that intro and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like,
I think
I'll tell you what, bro. I'll tell you what. I don't understand what you're talking about. It sounds gibberish, Higgins, but anyway. What I'm going to say to you is those days when we used to do those shows, they were just spontaneous and it was just off the cuff. And some stupid and dumb shit happened, as you saw. And that was only a small glimpse of what happened. And there was only like a few viewers. We didn't even have many viewers watching, maybe 10 to 15 viewers. But it was so fucking funny and off the cuff. It was next level shit. And that clip just shows you how bad it was.
Yeah, that's true. But I learned, Mr. GMT, and did you know that Tan was a big fan of the Perth Luxury show? He was a regular viewer.
He told me. Yes, he told me.
Yeah.
That's how he met us. That's how he found out about us.
Yeah, but I agree with you. The stupid shit that we did. Do you remember Perth Luxury taking those two ice cream things and simulating some horns and all the stuff?
Yeah.
Eating those popsicles.
Just some dumb shit.
Yeah.
It was really like fucking ridiculous. I'm telling you, man. It was nuts.
I'm just putting the video up just for people to see. So, just like the good old days. This trio was one of my favorite trios of trolls and watch talk. This was the three pillars right here. The fucking troll.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity. That was the Holy Trinity, Tanzil.
We got a lot of super chats. We're backed up on here, guys. Herman Love, $2. Which work of Beethoven is Higgins' favorite? That's a good question.
It's very easy. It is the Ode to the Ode an die Freude, which is the hymn of the European Union, and I also like the fifth.
All right, there you go. Herman Love, Higgins' favorite Beethoven tracks. We got
Fünfte Sinfonie.
Thomas Burnett gifted 1 Archie Luxury membership. Thank you so much, Thomas. I've actually moved from the screen, so I don't know who you gave it to, but much appreciated. We got Hermes Head. Give us a super sticker with $1. Appreciate that. We got Frank V for a question with Higgins. Higgins, do you know young Brandon? I don't know. Okay, young Brandon. Are you the same person or just same nationality and horology passion?
So I think he's talking about young Brando. And definitely not the same person, definitely not the same nationality, but a similar horology passion. He's more into vintage stuff and very limited to a couple of brands. I think I'm a little bit more into high-end watchmaking and independent brands.
See, Toyota Mo, their show was on like really early here. It was like 6 a.m. and I don't know. I'd just wake up early. And these three guys were on, and you had Higgins who was trying to be serious. You had GMT who was just fucking with him, and then Perth was just
Perth always doing
right?
stupid shit.
Exactly.
That was really yeah.
And that's why the dynamic really worked really well between those three. It was really, I'm really sad that we can't go back and actually see some of those old shows because they were pretty they're pretty epic. We had Apes, £5 British. Higgy, what Brigade Traditionnel would you get given the chance? Great to see GMT.
Personally, I like the one with a date, with that little date display. I don't know the reference number, Tan. Maybe you can help me to if you pull it up, or.
I mean, I can pull up
Boys,
a.
I've got to go because Higgins is putting me to sleep, man. So I've got to get some work done. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm going to fall
yeah,
asleep at
yeah.
work.
So,
We'll talk again
thanks,
soon.
thanks for saying hello, and I'm glad that you enjoy the good old times as well. That was epic,
Oh,
stupid,
yeah.
borderline
There was
crazy.
a lot of dumb shit, man. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, boys, and
Hey,
peeps in the punches in the
GMT,
chat, man.
can
Stay
I remind
sexy.
you? Yeah, I was going to remind you. Can you stay sexy, please?
Stay sexy, boys. Chat.
Stay sexy. Thank you, GMT. Nice to see you, bro. As always, we love.
But Mr. GMT, not sure if you heard that Perth promised that he will be back with the show. Did you hear that?
He might have dropped off. I'm sure.
I think Mr. GMT left the boat.
He's listening anyways. GMT's he already told us he's listening to all the shows. He's in. He just can't hop on all the time because obviously work. But I did bring up a retrograde date tradition brigade. I like this watch. I don't know if this is the style you were talking about, but this is the one.
Yes, exactly. That is the one that I would fancy. There is also one with a power reserve and so on. But I personally like the date function because it's a little bit more balanced and a little bit boring, you would say.
Spunky Hunk, so Swiss and John and Tan and Booze equates to incomprehensible high-level chicanery and rubbish. Those were the days. Yeah, that was well, the story behind that was I was telling Higgins, I was like, look, I feel for the people that live in Europe or the UK that really like to watch the ArchieLuxury channel because, you know, in the UK, it starts now at like midnight and, you know, on the mainland, it's like at least 1 a.m. So, you know, that's super late for people. And I remember I was working in Europe and I came back to the hotel and the only thing that was on was Swiss and John. So I hopped on and it was the case. But yeah, like it was, I feel for you guys. That's why I try to do the shows a little earlier for everybody. We got another very generous gift from Thomas Burnett, gifted 1 ArchieLuxury membership. Thank you so much, Thomas, for that. So we're talking about the Stoa. You said you liked it. You like the 41 mil size. You like the Flieger design. Mm-hmm. You really like Fliegers. I've kind of got that sense that you're a fan of Fliegers. What, like, I don't see it. Like, I don't like the stuff. Like, what attracts you to Fliegers specifically?
Well, I'm telling boring stories from where I started. So when I started selling IWC, of course, you come across with a legendary Mark 11. It was back then, so the Dirty Dozen. And I always wondered why doesn't IWC do a reissue of this particular watch. And I was dreaming about getting a proper Flieger watch from IWC for many years, and I was super happy when they finally did it with the beautiful JLC movement, the Mark 12 back then. And so I've always been a fan of the layout. I don't know if the simplicity was attracting me or probably the cockpit style, that it looks a little bit like the indicator in a plane. I just like it, and I like the simplicity and the toolish approach. So it looks like it has a purpose, and that there is nothing luxury or blingy on it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the the kind of reference to you know, aircraft and just the whole idea of just that, you know, that concept is, I can see a lot of people in liking that. Like, you know, Mike the Snake, if you're listening, obviously hop on and kind of talk about, because I know you like planes and whatnot. Not really something for me. I get it. I understand it. I like the design. I think it's cool. It's sporty. But yeah, aside from that, it doesn't really appeal to me. That's just me, right? Like, I think that there's a lot of people. Clyde, I know, is a big Flieger fan. He actually collects a lot of vintage Fliegers. Clyde, if you're listening, obviously shout outs. We got a $5 super chat for you here, Higgins. You're bringing in the money here today from Neo. Higgins, I want you to take a watch out of your collection to gift to the mayor of Watch YouTube, Thomas Burnett. Which watch will you gift him?
That is a very good question. So I know that Thomas likes my BCHH Celestial Voyager a lot. But I can't gift that watch, even in a hypothetical sense, because that watch is me and it was made for me. So I could now say I'm giving him a random one, but your question was out of my collection. So if there is one watch out of my collection that I think Thomas Burnett would like, it would be the Lange one with the moon face. I'm pretty sure he's a big fan of that.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. I got to tell you something. This is a great, wonderful thing here. 6119.
Is it an improvement over the 5119? You think the 6119?
You mean the 5196? You mean?
No, the 5119, baby.
What is the 5119? Jesus Christ!
You know what the 5119 is.
Oh,
with the cloisonné?
Come on,
sorry,
man.
you're talking the 35 mil.
Come on, man.
Replacement to the 3919.
Yep. So there goes 3919, 5119, and then you've got the beautiful 6119. We do have a super chat here, Archie, from Frank V.
Frank V, $5. Mr. Higgins, are you Andreo Saseo from Scarface? Played the role or just have a similar voice?
I've never watched Scarface.
What?
I can assure you, I haven't played in it.
Actually,
and, probably
I think
only
you played the role in Chaos in Get Smart.
That's how you were watching the shows when I asked that question, didn't you? You definitely got that from my super chat because I asked that question. I said Higgins would be more of a super villain in Get Smart than he would in Bond, I would say.
And then he went and joined the Love Boat before getting stuck in Germany when the ship was scrapped.
Mikey, perfect timing. We were talking about Flieger watches.
Yeah.
And Higgins was just talking about kind of the design, the air kind of craft, the inspiration and stuff like that. Tell me, Mikey, what do you think of the Flieger design watches? What are your thoughts?
I'm kind of with you. I'm not a big fan of the style as wristwatch. I personally have a Flieger. I'm working on the bracelet right now. But it's a little thick.
It's a Halic. Yes, it's a Bell and Ross. I think
You're
Bell and
taking
Ross
a
might have
cockpit
done
watch?
that, Mikey.
No,
and put on the strap?
it's a Waltham. It's out of a real jet.
So, and what are you doing with this clock?
Oh, I'm gonna make a strap for it and wear it as a wristwatch.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hey, I gotta tell you something there. Patel, Philippe, every person who has worn the JLC wants it.
They want it. I want it too for cost minus 10 grand.
Let me tell you some swaps that came up. Okay, I was offered a swap: the Beamer, the JLC, for the Bentley.
Yeah, but Archie, let's be honest, that swap hasn't been offered because of the JLC. That swap has been offered because of BMW.
The other swap I was offered was Madman offered to swap the blank pane for the JLC and a little bit of cash. I was also offered a swap. Right? I was offered a swap. I don't know if I should tell you this. Date, 36 mil.
Oh, do it right now.
Dial.
Do it right now.
I don't know.
The toxic sludge. Get Rolex.
I mean,
Rolex,
that is
Rolex.
your chance to get rid of that toxic sludge.
Get out now.
Yes.
Mikey,
I
what do you
agree.
think? Rolex dating. Tell me again.
I never agree with Tanzil, but I agree with him.
Rolex Day Diamond Dial. What else? We got a 36
It's
mil.
36 mil, but it's sold yesterday.
Yeah, but you can make another sideways trade and go, I think, a little further with that date than you can with the the JLC.
For a real nice one.
Similar money.
Yeah, well, first of all, you'd be trading into what everybody I think considers and prefers and considers nicer, but also down the road, you might be getting a lot of offers now, and it may last or it may not. but you probably always be able, like, you know, that Day-Date's like money in the bank, you know.
Come on, Archie. You gotta go with this. Don't tell me you have the JLC on the wrist. Show us the JLC. Show us the JLC.
The JLC itself is really, really cool.
It's not even on the wrist.
It's not even on the wrist. Okay, Mikey. So you got the JLC in gold, and then you got this baby right here. Like, fuck.
No, that's a 40 baht. That's a 40. That's a 40 baht.
40 or a 36. All good, baby.
No. Hang on. Back the truck up. It was an 18238. It wasn't a double one.
18238 diamond dial. There you go. I'll get you a diamond dial.
Yeah, Russ, we're discussing that compressor chronograph.
Actually, it's the diamond dial that you guys have already seen on the show. Did you know that?
What about this?
Did Jake the Yuppie offer you a trade?
Actually, Jake the Yuppie, I got to tell you, he's a very cool guy.
We got a super chat from Frank V.
Man.
You got a super chat here from Frank V first.
Frank V. Yes, sir. We got a super chat from Frank V. Here we go. Frank V, $5. Mr. Higgins, did you play James Bond villain Francisco Scarface, the man with the golden gun?
It was Francisco Scaramanga, the man with the golden gun. I wish. I know that that Christopher Lee, who played Scaramanga in The Man with the Golden Gun, was a ladies' man. He was pulling all the chicks that I can't get. So I wish, but I'm not. I'm just a
You know who my favorite Bond character is?
Who is that?
That too.
Oddjob. You know, the manservant.
Ooh, Oddjob.
What's his name?
Oddjob, yeah.
Oddjob.
Big fat guy with the white suit.
I loved he was Japanese actually, and he threw and he had the bowler hat with the Makita saw blade inside it.
Yeah.
Oddjob. His name was Oddjob. He was I never heard that term before, a manservant. Did you ever hear that term before the Bond movie? A manservant.
No, but I see you applied it to Lux, so, you know, congrats to Lux.
Yes, thank you.
So tell us, Archie, day date for the JLC. Come on. How are you turning this day date down?
What's on the screen now?
Well, don't turn it down. Do the trade.
Oh my God. Do the trade, Archie.
No, but it looks small on my wrist.
Higgins,
doesn't matter. You can flip that easy.
Even Higgins can't buzz.
You like I said, you can do another sideways trade after that, but you'll get more mileage with this than you will with the JLC.
Mileage with what?
Than with your JLC on a sideways trade, just like you're doing now. Like you sideways trade your JLC for this, and now it looks a little small on your wrist. You enjoy it for a while, and then you sideways trade up to something more than you could ever get with that JLC.
Mike, on our channel Elite Horology, we always say it's not important what other people are thinking of your watch. The main thing is you love it and you like it. And I'm gonna defend the Pontiff here a little bit.
Yeah,
apparently,
I'll give you that.
Apparently he's so attached to that JLC. Nobody understands it. Nobody gets it. But if he's happy, let him be happy and let him enjoy his watch.
100%. Okay.
We got a super chat from Neo, $5. Arch, I know you're happy to be talking about watches, but your head nipples are getting plump and juicy. Thank you, Neo.
Ooh.
Thank you so much.
Neo is spicy.
Harsh.
Spicy. Let me tell you something, guys. You got to remember that JLC is a diver. It's a precision chronograph. It's a haute horology piece, guys. It's in line.
It is not a haute horology, Archie.
It's in line with a 5980R on a leather strap. It's in the same class as that.
That's a strap. That's a stretch, Archie. Come on.
It is, man. Hey, can I show you what? I want to show you a very cool video, okay? Because you guys like cool, don't you?
We do.
Okay, have a look at the guy who's wearing these. Have a look at the guy who's wearing the pants here, okay? Have a look at the guy who is wearing the pants in. Tell me what you think of this. Here we go. I'm going to run it now for you guys. Okay. Okay, we're going to run it. We're going to run it. This is the Beamer getting deloused. Have a look.
Ooh.
Look at this. What do you think?
Little foam cannon action.
How's that? Look at that.
Archie's getting nice and foamy,
yeah.
nice and saucy.
I'm
Foamy.
always jealous when I see that, because if you do that in Germany, you will get you will get a ticket. It's not allowed
what?
to drain that soap in the public drainage. It must be a special one.
What's that?
You can't do
Look at
that,
that.
On the street. You can't use soap on
Yeah.
the street.
I've worked at 2
Why?
shops as a mechanic where they didn't allow you to use water or have any drainage whatsoever of any kind of toxic nature go into the public.
After
drains.
using this foam cannon, I didn't even need to scrub it in. Just rinse it off and chamois it. That's it.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah. If it's
Are you
not
getting a
stuck.
foam cannon now at home, Archie?
I've got a foam cannon already, but my problem is I think I had the water up too high because it always pisses water through.
You gotta be careful
Look
not
at
to
that.
take the paint right off your car too, Archie.
I was very careful. No, it doesn't really. It's quite soft.
Okay.
Guys, it's 1 o'clock in the night. I'm off. Thank you very much for having me on. You have a great rest of the show. Mikey, always good to see you. Tan, always good to have Watch Talk with you. And Archie, enjoy the rest of your trip. And always good talking to you. And don't let
again.
anyone shit on your JLC. Just enjoy it when you
When
do.
are we going to meet in Shenzhen, Higgy?
I will let you know.
Seriously, I want to catch up
Yep.
with you, man.
Okay, sounds good. I will let you know when
And,
I'm there. The problem, and I told you that it's a long
I
flight
told you because of the airspace. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
You know what? I get it. It's actually, I tell you, as you get older, you get less tolerant of these long flights, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I'm 10 years older than you, more or less.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit
Neo.
taller as well. So, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Neo, $5. Did Paul Pluter get laid? His
Okay,
face
bye-bye.
is glowing today.
See,
No, I had a disaster. Let me tell you. I think we've resolved it.
And
Then I went to the hotel and they had no parking for the Beamer. They told me to leave it on the street. I had a bit of a hissy fit, and they arranged for me to get a undercover handicap spot.
undercover.
Yep.
they give you a blue thing to put on your dash and let you park in one of
And
the
then-
blue spots.
Listen to me then. Then you know what happened? I ordered food because I didn't want to, because they gave driving out to get something to eat. So I ordered Uber Eats, right? And you know what happened?
What happened?
I'm bringing the Uber Eats up to my room. The bag breaks. My Thai green curry goes all over the lift floor.
Ooh,
Oh,
shit.
Oh, that's terrible, Archie.
Yeah. And then I had to scoop it all up. And then I had to go and find a towel to clean because I can't leave the lift like that. Guess what? When I pressed the lift buttons, every fucking lift came except for that lift. Anyhow, I eventually cleaned it up, and it was a total disaster.
Total and utter disaster. That's sad, man. That's sad. Did you get more food or what'd you do? Did you get more food? What'd you do? And by the way, we got one gifted Archie Luxury membership from Thomas Burnett. He's gifted a few today, Archie. So big shout outs to Thomas Burnett. We love him.
That Piaget
Thomas
up on the
Burnett.
screen.
I love Thomas Burnett. I tell you something. You know that blank pane that Madman's got? That is fucking beautiful, Tan. It's this new limited edition. It's got the gold 9 carat, right?
Yep.
It's an alloy. It's kind of like it feels different it's like it's going to be a lot stronger than 18 carat. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the chat is finding this Piaget on the screen very interesting, Archie. You know a little bit about Piaget, the thin watches. Angelic is saying he's really into this, and so is Jimmy. What do you think of Piaget's?
You know, Piaget's always been super cool, man. Super thin. Look at that. It is absolutely beautiful. Not a popular brand in Australia. Our Bogans with Holdens. Kangaroos, meat pies, and Holden cars. Football, kangaroos, and meat pies, and Holden cars. It's a bit above that, isn't it? This is like turning up at a footy club with a Citroen.
But the thought of meat pies has now made me hungry, Archie. I'm gonna go get some dinner, but you got 100 viewers. You got Mikey on the panel. Do some watch talk. I'm gonna bounce. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, I want to say thank you. Can you please give me that sign? This is the narrative, unauthorized signing out. I want to hear that, please. I'm addicted to that.
So I do it at the start of it is this is the Lux Report. I am the narrative. This is an unsanctioned broadcast. All opinions in this segment are those of the narrative and no one else, guys. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Hey, thanks for the education, Tan.
Anytime, Mike. You know I love talking watches with you, man. So
I was in learn mode. I was sponge mode today. I saw a lot of new stuff, really cool stuff. Thanks for bringing everything up. You and Higgy.
Absolutely, guys. All right, guys.
Yeah, that's big thank you there. We got a super chat, $20 super chat from Neo. Despite your day of Lucille Ball mishaps, you, my friend, are happy today. We hear it in your voice, see it in your face. You are engaged with us. So give it up, man. We want to be happy with you. Something happened. Get up. Actually, my son rang me. I said, man, I want to be. It's because I had a fight with my. I think the whole reason I was shitty, Mike, was I had a fight with my son. Okay.
Okay.
And he sent me a message, and I rang him, had to talk to him. That's why I'm in a good mood, because I think the kids actually make me happy. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, sure. But did you you had an argument with the same kid? Did you squash the grudge you guys had, or did you work it out, or did you leave it?
We kind of worked it out. You
agreed to disagree or something like that?
He just said he's in a bad. He just said he's. I said, look, mate, I care for you. I said I love him. He says he loves me. That was a good thing. You know what I mean? When you have an argument, I don't need to win the argument. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I don't need to be proven right.
Absolutely.
I got to tell you something, Mikey. Those Pirellis are great tires, by the way. They may be run flats, but they are great tires.
Yeah, they are. Would you get the
P0s
or the P1s?
Yeah, P0s. Incredible tire. We've got a super chat here from Thomas Burnett. Thomas Burnett is gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much, Thomas Burnett. Who has he gifted it to? Who's he gifted it to? Let's have a look.
We're not sure. They haven't.
It'll come up. It'll come up. I'm going to have a look. Just hang on there.
He's gifted a few before that I don't think I saw the name of who got them, but I might have not been looking in the right place either.
Yeah. I got to tell you something, Mikey. It's a pleasure having you come on. You make me happy. When I jump on the stream and I got Mike the Snake on, how would I not be happy with that, man? You know what I mean? That makes me happy.
I try to bring happiness.
Your best, Mike.
Yeah.
And I mean, the YouTube space has been difficult lately. It's been a very, very tough space. It's not a friendly space. You know what I mean? It's been a bit tough. And I got to tell you, sometimes the YouTube space hasn't been friendly. Okay, hasn't been friendly to me. You know what I mean?
Yes, I've been here all along, man. What I've been, I've been here living it with you,
Yeah. Thomas Burnett gifted 1 membership. JTM got it. JTM got it. Thank you, Thomas Burnett. We've also got another super chat here. Patel Philippe, $5. Will you make your videos available to the next Flick documentary on TPG? And are you excited for the You betcha. What's happened? Tell me what's happened.
Sounds like there's a Netflix documentary on TPG happening. So
Yeah.
need to do some research and find out when that is. Record it.
That's exactly it, man. That's exactly it, man. I'd see that. We've got what else have we got happening here? We have also got some great things happening today. I'll tell you what's happening today, man. We have got listen to this. Holy shit, what do we got here? I'm just trying to find it. Look at this. We've got some super chats coming in fast. We got Neo, $10. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Self-discovery, like that is a great high. Yeah. Yeah, I really did enjoy that. We got Malik Diamond, $10. Archie panel, pick one diamond dial, date just 41. What color dial and bracelet choice? You know what? I think I would go for steel and rose gold, and I'd go chocolate. Steel, rose gold, and chocolate. Does that make sense?
Sure, it's a beautiful
meat
look.
pies, Holden cars, football, Holden. You know what I mean? What do you think? We got another super chat here. What would you go for in a date just? Would you go combo, steel, two-tone? What would you do?
Me?
I would go steel and rose gold and with a chocolate dial. I'm hooked on the chocolate dials.
I think I would go steel and yellow or rose gold with a black dial.
Hey, we got the watch hangout. JJ, come back. $5. Glad to see you're happy today. Your old pal JJ the Diva, or is it the Prima Donna? P.S. No link or show today. $5, man. That is a good super chat.
Good
That's
to see
a
you,
good super
JJ.
chat. Super chat. We got another super chat. We've got one from Patel Philippe, $5. Run a poll. Should Archie get the day date 36 18 238 with diamonds or a JLC master shitter? See, that poll question is a little biased. See that?
Yeah, just a bit.
Should Archie swap JLC master compressor for 36 day-date diamond dial? Yes or no? We'll start the poll now. Let's get this poll running there. We'll get the poll going. We got another super chat. We got Sam Davidson, £5. Love the Pontiff. Love the Pontiff. We got Neo, $10. Is there a place you and your son can go do bumper cars against each other? You know, that's a good question. We don't really have that in Australia. There was the RNA, the Echo. We had the show. We had a show. But I think that is actually closing by the time I get back into Dodge. I get back into Dodge. By the time I get back into Dodge. What can I say, man? What can I say? Let me tell you this, man. I'd like to do that. I would love to do that. I'd love to do that. We've got another super chat coming in fast and furious. We've got one from Patel, Philippe, $5. One of the biggest commonalities between the 3940 and the 5035. So that's the 36 mil perpetual calendar and the 5035, which is the 37 mil annual calendar that I owned and Tan owned. What's the commonalities? They are both calendar watches. They're both dress watches. They were both super popular in the day. They both, believe it or not, they wanted the 5035 to be 36 mil, but it had to be bigger because of just constraints. Very, very, very. I actually made a video comparing the two. The perpetual, of course, is a lot more valuable, but the annual, they're both unique watches. They're both beautiful. They are really cool watches. I got to say that. I got to say that, man. I got to say that. They are really cool. They are very cool. We got a super chat from Malik Diamond, $10. Archie VC6400E. Let's get this baby up on the screen now, man. Vacheron 4600E. Man, this is a incredible watch. It's one of the 56s. Now, I'm not sure if I was a fan of these, you know. I don't know if I was a fan. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of these. These were the kind of their entry level. This is supposed to be the entry level Vacheron. Vacheron has come back a lot. They've come back. They pulled back. They were hypey, but they have pulled back a lot in recent times. Pull it up and tell me how much you hate this watch. I'm really considering buying one. I just hate it because for the same money, you can do so much better. For example, the Vacheron Day Date Retrograde. That is such a better watch. I got to be honest with you. Vacheron has had the shit kicked out of it. It's a sinking stone. When the market was crazy, Vash was high. But Mikey, your dream watch is the Vacheron, right? You like the overseas, the blue dial overseas, correct?
My intermediary, within reality grail is the 4500 blue three-hander. Yeah, version 3, the latest one.
The latest one, Mikey.
Yeah, the one with.
Tell you,
yeah.
Mikey, would you ever get one yourself?
Oh, I hope to. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just, there may be some time in the future.
Man's Vacheron. It sucks. It's a poor man's anything. This is the Boxster of the Vash range.
Yep, I have to agree with you. This isn't the overseas. That's for sure.
And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I'm just trying to tell you.
The bracelet isn't tapered and doesn't look like that much, that special. And the shape case is really rounded, and at least on the far right picture, maybe it's a titanium case or something, but man, it almost looks like a Breitling Colt. At least that picture, but other pictures make it look a little better. But no, yeah, this one, what does this sell for?
Look, they're kind of the entry level Vacherons, right? I hate them. I just hate them. I don't, they just look really cheesy and cheapy. That's what I kind of feel. They just look at the bracelet. I don't like it in the least, man. I don't like it in the least. I don't like it, okay?
I'm sure for the money, there's a shitload of better looking watches to be had.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is what it is, you know what I mean? But Neo $2. Put the JLC up on consignment. See, I kind of still want to play with the JLC, okay? The best thing I love about that watch, Mikey?
The fact that it causes so much controversy.
I like the fact the community doesn't like it.
Yep.
They don't like it.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, when I met people on my tour, they all love it. They love it. They go, oh, man, this wears so much differently. Oh, man, it is so nice. Oh, man, I love it. Oh, man. That's what they say to me.
Well, the allure of solid gold, like once you see it in person, it might, take on a completely different allure.
Mikey, I got to tell you something, man. This Vacheron, if someone offered me a swap for this Vacheron for my JLC, right?
That would be a really hard decision to make.
No,
plus
I wouldn't do it, Mikey.
Yeah,
not interested.
I don't think I would. I don't know what these cost either yet. So.
Well, they look. What do they cost?
Are they comparable cost-wise?
I'll just have a look here. European Watch Gallery had one. It's sold. He's not cheap. European Watch Gallery is so fucking expensive. I'm not a big fan. What do they go for? Just having a look. Just give me a moment, guys. I want to tell you what I just don't like them. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like them because they're kind of cheap. Okay. See, secondhand, they're about, you know what? Secondhand, there's one for sale in Melbourne, and it's actually they're selling it for $15,998 Aussie. What's that? It's 10.5 US, 11 US. You know what? That's not far off. You know what the difference is? My JLC is about $500 more, and that was wholesale. So my JLC would sell for about $5,000 more than this. Now that's on a strap. That's on a strap. Purchased new March 2022. It's only got original blue croc with steel butterfly. It's only got do they come with? So this one here's only got the one. See, I'll be honest with you, Mikey. If I had I'm gonna call this up. Let's call this fucker up on the screen, Mikey. I'm gonna call it up so you can have a look at what I'm talking about.
Pull it up.
You tell me. You tell me what you think. This is a dealer in Australia. who's selling this here. It's 15,995.
Okay, so it's right smack on the price point of your JLC.
You betcha, man.
And is this white gold?
We got at Steel. T Dubs is joining us. Hey, the comms.
What you getting rid of that? You're finally getting rid of that fucking JLC. Good. I cried when I saw that on your wrist, mate. I cried.
This is
I cried when the day-date. It's more. It's so you, Arch. It's so you. The day-date. The date just. Diamond dial. No, don't go to the diamond. Go to the champagne dial, mate.
By the way, I'm really angry. I went to Harbour Town. There's no bargains at Harbour Town. What the fuck's going on?
It's fucking shit, mate. Everywhere. There's no bargains anywhere.
Harbour Town.
Supposed to be DFO.
No bargains there.
Used to be good, but it's not anymore. There you go, Mikey.
Let's have a look.
It's going okay.
Just okay, Mikey. You sound like you're jumping out of your skin before.
Oh no, just having a nice even keeled day. I took a friend to a medical procedure and picked him up when it was finished, and so I had to get my day started a little earlier than usual.
Pre-op, T-Dubs, pre-op.
A medical procedure. Mikey, a pre-op. Did he get a pre-op done? Pre-op. Did he get a pre-op, Mikey? Did he get a pre-op? We love those pre-ops, mate.
Yeah, you got the pre-op
Flip
done.
them over. No more flipping them over. We got another super chat here from Neo, $2. Put the JLC on consignment. I don't want to sell it. I love it, Neo. I love it. We got another super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Would you stand by your statement about Reverso that
too big on your list?
Yeah, I like big and chunky. Meaty, big and chunky.
The day-date, the classic, just the 36 mil, mate. That's the classic. That's the classic.
It's classic, and you could quickly sideways trade it for another different chunky monkey like your solid gold Panerai. So I bet you there'd be somebody out there with one of those that would swap for a solid gold day-date.
Solid gold Panerai, Mikey. That's the overkill, mate. That's worse than the JLC. That's a hockey puck.
Oh, I know.
Look
It's another one.
Look at this chunky monkey having a go here.
Look
at this chunky monkey. Look at that chunky monkey.
Panerai, a solid gold Panerai.
Does it get better than that? How's that for a chunky monkey?
Yeah, but mate, diamonds. Whose is it? Is it Jakey's? Mate, I was upset with Jakey the other night. He didn't make an effort, mate.
Look at that chunky monkey.
Jakey didn't make an effort, mate. He turned up like the unmade bed. JCB had the big bag of fruit on. JCB was dressed to the nines, mate. What about Jakey? See this younger generation, mate. The younger generation, they don't know how to dress, mate. They don't know how to dress these days. The younger generation. JCB had them. He was on the money.
Eddie here. Eddie's joining us on the stream.
Hey, man. Eddie, you know how to dress, man. You know how to dress to the nines, Eddie. You put the big bag of fruit on, Eddie. Man.
Hey, this watch is shit, man.
Hey, Archie.
Hey, man.
No worries, Mikey. No worries. That's okay, man. That's okay. We got a super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. What is the best thing your JLC has master compressed? Your viewership, your bank account, your self-esteem.
I just think it's you've got.
I bought that.
You've got the Zenith, mate. You've got the Zenith.
Focus, man. I got to get rid of it. I do have to sell it. I will sell it.
You've got to get rid of it, mate.
I will sell it. Okay?
You've got the Zenith.
I will sell it. I do.
And you've got the.
I want the money. We got HR is joining
You got
us.
the brag
Little
guy. You got
Dave
the brag
super chat,
guy.
$2. Little Dave, $2. Buy high, sell low is the Mike the Snake way. And we got Strider's Union Rep. Hey, how are you?
Hey man, hey Eddie, I like your hat,
Hello?
man.
Yeah, man. That's my
Hey,
mom's hat.
hey Eddie, what happened to your hair, man?
Got fucked up, man.
Fuck, man.
It went pear shaped, man.
Hey Eddie, ever get any action with the women with the hat on?
Yeah.
It's so you.
It's so you, man.
So
This this one time when I was back in prison, I seen some guy and he took my lunch and I beat him over the head, man.
You know, Wolfgang, he threw one at that lady boy, and the lady boy, she took her heels off and just went bang, 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 and Wolfgang went out like
Starfish. Hey Archie,
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump off in a minute, but can I just say, can we have a link for Mental Jock's broken catalytic converter?
Fuck.
Sure, what happened to Mental Jock's catalytic converter, man?
That's 100% there, bud. Link for Mental Jock's broken catalytic converter.
How did it break?
Sure, why not? Okay, we've got a super chat. Let's have a look here. We've got super chats. We got Patel Philippe, $5. Name a model that you can spot across the room on the wrist from these brands: Panerai, Rolex, Omega, Racket, Druce, Patek, Baume & Mercier. Name a model you can spot across the room. It'd have to be, look, Pam,
Baume & Mercier.
Rolex. Some Omegas like the Seamasters, the Speedies, Drakkar Dross. Nobody knows that. Patek, depends on the model. And Baume & Mercier. Fuck, nobody even knows who Baume & Mercier. You know, Baume & Mercier, they were mid. They were kind of cool. They're not cool anymore, I don't think. Yeah, we got another super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Thoughts on the Cartier Mysterique? Cartier Mysterique. Cartier.
Man.
Let's have a look. What the fuck is this?
Mysterious, man.
Oh, it's a fuck. That's pretty clever what they've done. There we go. That's it is Cartier. Cartier. What do you think of that? It's in the rotor. Look at that. It's pretty damn clever. Very, very, very clever. Thoughts? I don't mind it. What's the price like, Tanzil? What is the price? That's what I want to know. What is the price like? Because it all comes down to money.
That's a piece of shit, man.
Amazing. How much is it? Does it tell us how much it is? Doesn't give us a price. Why doesn't Houdinki gives us a price normally, don't they? I'm just having a look to see what the price is like. I don't think it'd be cheap. That's for sure. I don't see it being cheap. Fuck! 274,000 US dollars. I mean, I thought this thing would be like 50,000. I'd say it's expensive. 274. Fuck me dead. That's expensive. That's beyond expensive. It's ridiculous. We got Neo, $10. Archie, do you want Mike to come back and for these two to go tonight? Because you seem to be having fun. By the way, I would keep the JLC if I... yeah, that's what I haven't paid it off yet. I haven't paid it off yet. That's exactly right. SR Bell, $2. Eddie Shop, man, tights, man.
Tell you what.
Oh, Eddie's look. Hey, look. At least Eddie comes on. At least Eddie comes on the stream.
Yeah,
I got to tell you, Eddie comes on the stream, and I do appreciate that greatly. We got Eddie, Mike the Snake, and Arch on the stream. Eddie, what's going on, man? What's happening with you? Have you
Same
found
old,
any
man.
jobs or anything yet? What's happening?
I've been looking around, man. Today's a shitty day, man. It's raining
Eddie.
outside.
What did I say? Don't wait. You're wasting your time trying to look for work. You got to create your own job.
I will, man.
I don't understand why you don't listen to me. I mean,
I'm listening, man.
why don't you do computer stuff? Advertise, do some flyers. Isn't that what you should do?
Yeah.
And you could do a walk. You go out and hand out flyers. Put them in the
I did
mailbox.
that before and nobody responded, man. I had business cards. I used to put them around and, like, you know, try to distribute them.
Yeah, well, you just try, Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie, I don't think you're going to get a job, okay? You got to create your own job.
You're right.
Man, no one's going to hire you. You got a criminal record for being a prick. That's IT companies take that shit so serious, man.
Man, it's okay.
Me
man.
and you both know you're
good,
harmless,
man.
right? Me and you both know you're harmless and you mean well,
I
right?
wouldn't do nothing
But they
bad to
don't
you,
see it that way. Eddie, they don't see it that way, man. Do you know what I mean? They don't see it that way. That's the problem, Eddie. They don't see it that way. That's the problem, Eddie. They don't see it that way. And I mean, man, I want you to do well, Eddie.
Yeah.
I want you to be
I wanna
happy,
do
Eddie.
well,
I want you to be happy. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I really want you to be happy, but I don't see it, Eddie. Are you happy?
Nah.
What's wrong?
I don't know, man. A lot of shit, man.
What's wrong, Eddie? Tell me what's wrong.
A lot of shit, man. A lot of shit. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say.
I think if you had a bit of money coming in, everything would be better.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I can give you like a PayPal account, man. Somebody can help me, man. If they want to. I don't know, man. I don't want to take your money, man.
We got some super chats. We got SR Bell, $2. Eddie. No, I don't want to say that, SR Bell. We got John C, $2. Eddie, are you dating? How are you meeting chicks? Are you dating, Eddie? Let's clarify. That's a good question.
No, man. I don't need no. I got enough problems, man. I got plenty of fucking problems, man. Man.
What problems have you got?
Huh?
I said, what problems have you got,
man? Lots of fucking problems, man.
Yep. What problems have you got, Eddie?
What's that?
What problems have you got?
Everything, man. Money problems, man. I'm in a big fucking debt, man. I'm behind like fucking $200,000-$300,000, man.
But how do you own a property, or how could you be so far? Sorry,
dude, they fucked me, man. They got me bad, man. They got me fucking bad, man. They fucked me really good, man. You know?
No, I don't know, Eddie.
I can't tell you everything, man, on this this is public fucking domain, man. You want me to put everything out? Put everything out there, man?
But man, okay, but can you go bankrupt? Would that get rid of the 200,000 debt?
Fucking, you can't go bankrupt, man. It's fucking federal judgment, man. They gave me a fucking. They did me like a mobster, man.
But you can have a payment plan with them, can't you, or what?
So bad, man. You don't even want to do. If you knew the reality, you'd be crying, man. Right now. You know? They got me really bad, man. And I'm sorry to you, man. I never mean no harm to you or nobody. I get a little bit carried away sometimes. I say some stupid shit, man. I'm not a stupid, my IQ is high, man. I don't like to, talk to too many people, man, sometimes, man. Because, like, they don't care. They're eating from their own plate. Everybody eats from their own plate, man,
Yeah.
Everybody eats from their own plate. It's like, I can't fucking, tell you what to do, man. I can't tell.
Bell, $2. Eddie, gay porn, man. Eddie's straight. You're straight, aren't you, Eddie?
Man, what's up with these people? These people are fucked, man. They're fucked in the head, man. These guys are fucking insane, man.
Yeah.
I have to look into the crystal ball, man. You know what I'm saying? I have an ability that I can see the future, man. I can predict things sometimes. I predicted my own downfall, man. And I couldn't, and I was too stupid to fucking stop, man. I knew it was gonna be fucked, and I didn't stop myself. I just kept fucking, Why? Why do you think I did that? It's something in my brain, man. Something the way I'm wired up. I'm wired a certain way, man. Archie, you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So, like, my brain has a certain way, like, pattern, the algorithm inside my head.
Okay, just hang on one tick there. We've got another super chat. John C., $2. Eddie, do you know Brabus? Are they worth the money?
Yes. They don't make any new ones, though. I haven't seen any newer. I like the Brabus makes, those older W109s. They take everything old out of them and put new engines in them, and then like wire them up so they look.
Yeah.
They look like classic, but under the hood they got like a.
We got a super chat here from Sirocco Sales. $3. Fight this, another depression stream.
Man.
Sirocco, no. I tell you something. Houdinki seems to be discounting a lot. Houdinki has started discounting.
I don't like Houdinki. That's Polacks, man. That means watch in Polish. Houdinki. Did you know that?
Sorry?
You know that Houdinki, it means watch in Polish? Did you know that?
Yeah, someone had told me that.
And my best friend was Polish, man. He used to have a Range Rover. He got killed in a car accident. He was cool, man. I miss him. His name was Conrad, man. We used to go to school. He was 16 years old when he got killed. And he was
That's
rich,
terrible.
man.
In America?
Yeah, he had a Range Rover 4.0. You know those older ones, the 4.0 SE. And he used to take me for a ride in that car all the time. We used to go like in the woods, and he used to drive on like off road and like go off road and lift. You know, he's got that airbag suspension. He'd press the button and lift it all the way up, and then he used to drive over all kinds of shit. He was cool, man. And he used to have this girlfriend. She was like, she was what do you call it? She was real nice. She was my friend too. Like we just were friends, you know. And then he went ski. They went on a ski trip somewhere in Wisconsin, and he was with his friend. His friend had another car. They were racing each other, man, on the highway. And his girlfriend was in the car with him, and her brother was in the car. And then he was driving like this little piece of shit car, Dodge Colt. Because like he want to take the Range Rover. I told him take the Range Rover, man. He's like, no, man, it eats too much gas, you know. So he took the little car instead, and then they drove to. They were racing with his friend, and he passed him uphill. It was like a hill, and they were racing, and he passed him on the left side of the wrong side of the road. And when he got to the top of the hill, there was a truck coming. Bam! He smashed into the truck head on, and he died, man. And then his girlfriend, she lost her eye in the crash.
Fuck, that's awful.
Yeah, and then her brother was in a wheelchair. Because he was wearing a seatbelt. My friend wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Conrad wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And then his friend, I'm like, what the fuck, man? I want to know what happened. You know, I called up his buddy. So, like, what happened? I was talking to this girl on the phone at the time, and then she's like, oh, man, she got, like, remember we had those pagers? Remember before cell phone? They had pagers and shit. So, like, somebody paged her, and she's like, I'll call you right back. And then she's like, oh, yeah, your friend Conrad is in the hospital. They got in a car accident. And I'm like, what? I thought he, like, broke his leg or something, you know? So I called over his family.
Just hang on there. I got T-Dubs backstage. Hey, T-Dubs, what's going on?
Yeah, mate, I'm going to have to give Eddie the Iron Fist and the Velvet Glove treatment, mate. I think you were on the money the other day, mate. Eddie, you're in the greatest country in the world, mate. Like Australia, you've hit the lottery already, mate. You're fucked up. So what? You got to pick up the pieces, mate. You got to pick up your bag, and you got to pick up the ball and get running again, mate. You got to pick up the ball and get running, Eddie. Start running.
He's only a young guy.
Otherwise, yeah, mate, I'd cut my right arm off to be your age again. You're a good-looking bloke. You're stylish. You got a hat. Look, you got a hat on, mate. You know the drum. Listen, Eddie, I don't want to hear any more of this fucking. Yeah, man, fucking. No, mate. Get a smile on your dial. Listen, you get a smile on your dial, mate, and get out there, right? You're walking around with a big, like, with a fucking, you know, your jaws dragging down the ground, mate. Nobody's going to want to know you, mate. They don't want to know you if you're like that. Isn't that true, Arch? Get a smile on your dial and sell yourself. Just forget about the shit from yesterday. Yesterday's history, Eddie. Yesterday's history, mate. Tomorrow's a mystery. Okay? This is T-Dubs talking to you, mate. Right?
That's good advice, T-Dubs. We got some super chats here. We got GB 20 Mex. When Mike the Snake hits the big scratch off, he will help Eddie. And we have Little Dave, $2. Eddie, Putin is on the ropes getting his ass beat. And I just wanted, we got another super chat. John C. Eddie, describe your ideal first date with a chick.
I don't know, man. Why do they want to know that? Why do they want to know that? Ideal first date.
How did you ask for action from the Korean girl? What did you say to her?
Listen, man, me and her been a long time ago, man. I already fucked her many times, man. A long time ago, man. when she was younger, man. She's old, man. She's old, man. I don't want.
You're old too, Eddie.
Nah, man. She's older, man. She's like fucking old, man. She's like an old lady, man.
Look
Yeah, what is it you want to do? Listen, Eddie, the
Hodinkee is having a massive sale at the moment. Let's have a look at this. Hodinkee, look at the watches. $180 watches now still overpriced.
I want that G-Shock.
Look at the
green G-Shock.
Look at this. These prices. They've just had some massive price cuts. Look at this massive price cuts. Online Ceramics did this special version here. Fuck, they're selling a limited edition Hodinkee 60% off. What the fuck? Why?
Because they're trying to get rid of that shit, man. They're trying to get rid of that shit, man.
I don't know what to say there. Hodinkee's having a fire sale. Let's get T-Dubs back on the stage here. We got GB, 20 mex, GB.
Man.
Eddie is a drag on the show. I'm out later, fellas. Okay. Guys, I actually have to leave early today because I've got another 7 hour. I want to break. I want to get this trip back. I want to get back.
Let's get this show on the road,
So
baby.
I actually,
Get this show on the road, man. Where are you, Archie? In Canberra? Yeah, in Canberra. Did a lot of business in Canberra years ago.
So I want to
You
do
did a lot of
7 hours
business in
today.
Canberra?
I want to get up to. So a lot of what?
A lot of business in Canberra back in the day. She was buzzing. 90s, early 2000s.
Don't sell that fucking GG.
Yeah, Eddie, listen, yeah, no, man, you know, this sad sack attitude, Eddie, it's going to get you nowhere, mate, the sad sack attitude. People are just going to say, nah, they'll blow you off, mate. The sad sack attitude will blow you off. Right? I can tell you from experience. I'm not talking out of my hat here, I'm talking from experience. Okay? You got the gift of the gab.
Look, man. I don't want to talk about that shit, man.
I'm only trying to help you, mate.
Fix my
I'm
own
trying to help you.
I fix my.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, you fix your own problem. Right, yeah, mate.
Hey, T-Dubs, listen, man. I like you, whatever, man. I don't got nothing against you, whatever. I solved my own problems, mister. You know what I'm saying? I fucking solved my own problem. I'm in control of my own destiny, man.
Good on you, mate.
Huh?
You're not doing it too rough, mate. You're not sleeping out rough. You've got a Merc. You look like you're in good digs.
Who cares what I got, man? Who cares what I got? What's
Doesn't matter, no.
I got to do with anything, man?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Good. Yes, Arch. Yeah. It's a sideways deal, is it? You get the date just.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm just keeping what I got. I'm happy with what I got. You know, I got to tell you.
So
Uzi's joining us. Uzi's on the stream. Uzi, how are you, Uzi?
What's going on?
Hey.
Eddie. Hey, I thought I recognized. I was in jail with you, dude.
Who?
This is Red.
Who?
Red.
Red who, man?
That's what
You don't show that laser into the camera, mate. That's very rude, mate. You're being rude.
Yeah, that's ATOV.
Red who, man?
That came out of nowhere. That worked. How you doing, Archie?
Hey, not too bad there, man. I'm about to hit the road. We've got a big road. I want to try and break this trip. I want to break it
You
because
give the beamer a soapy massage. Did you give it a soapy massage? The beamer.
yeah, I gave it a soapy massage. Yeah, I did. It's still, but then it's collected all the bugs on the way, so I'll have to do it again soon.
As long as after you do that, you put some protection on it. Yeah, turtle wax or something, keep the Duco protected.
Yeah, no, you're
Because
right.
you're stripping off when you do that with those with the soap, you're stripping off a lot of the protectants and stuff like that. They do it when it comes in out of the factory, mate. They come out of the factory with a factory seal. Factory seal, mate. They all come out with a factory seal.
I wax her, T-Dubs. T-Dubs, I wax her. We got a super chat from SD43. Goldie office on the way, AC3. T-Dubs is a great. Yeah, I want to get something happening, man. I really do. I would love to get something happening with you.
Mate.
You are
I'll just
a
jump
great
on
guy.
and help you out.
Yeah, thank you.
Listen,
man.
Yeah, like you don't want that blue. I've seen that blue that you showed me on the streamer.
Yeah. By the way, 58%.
You don't want it to dull. You don't want it to dull up.
No, definitely not. You want to keep it waxed up. That's for sure.
Yeah. What are you up to, Uzi?
So I got to tell you, Uzi, would you agree with me?
What's going
Eddie
on?
needs to get his own job. He needs to work for himself. He can't.
You go buy some scrap cores, Eddie.
Yeah. Listen to Uzi, Eddie. He's a go-getter. Uzi's a go-getter, Eddie. Take Uzi's advice. He's a go-getter, mate.
Buy some junk metal.
Yeah, go and get some metals, mate. Metals is the way. Metals. Get some metals, mate.
Yes.
You know, that's so, yeah, it's so true. So true, Uzi. Metals are becoming the it's like silver and gold, mate. You know, anyone who's holding silver and gold at the moment, they're laughing. They're laughing. And all the other subsidiary metals like copper, zinc, alloys, all the other stuff that they put in, it's all got to be recycled. Uzi, you know that. You're on the money.
Buy yourself a little scale. Hey, Eddie, buy a Chevy 1500, a cheap Chevy 1500. Buy a fucking scale and go buy off machine shops and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. No.
Got to get out and get into it, Eddie. Stop sitting on it. You got to sitting on your cocoa commiserating, mate, about yesterday's history, mate. Yesterday's history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Get out and get into it, mate. Get into it while you're young. True, Arch, or not? Am I speaking the truth or what?
Right. 100% right, man.
There you go. There you go. You've got the pot of seal on that one, Eddie. Okay. So I ain't talking shit, Eddie. I ain't talking shit, mate. I'm talking from hard-earned experience, mate. From hard-earned experience. All right?
That's right, Eddie. Come on, man. You got to be positive. You just got to be positive.
Now, everyone's trying to help you, man. Archie's trying to help you. You know. Look, mate, if you got issues, mate, it's like if you've got a car that's the engine something wrong, you take it to the professionals, mate. If you've got issues, go to the professionals, right? If you can't solve your own answers, go to the professionals. But as long as you're doing something, if you're doing something with your day every day, if you're doing something and you're keeping your mind occupied with, like Uzi said, metals, whatever, you've got no room in your head for all this other garbage. Okay? It's not going to come in there. And if you've got a thought that comes into your head that's garbage, you think, okay, I'm going to wrap that shit up and put it in the bin. And forget it. If you can't, then you might need professional help. I don't know you, mate. Right? I'm just going on what I'm hearing. And what I'm hearing is not good. So, you know, like, Stop looking at yourself. Turn a few of those mirrors into windows, mate. Turn those mirrors into windows and look out. There's a big bad world out there, mate. And, you know, the world's your oyster still, Eddie. The world is your oyster still. There's nothing wrong with someone having a bit of a rough start and a good finish. Okay.
Yeah,
As long as
Eddie,
you
that's the
finish
whole
that.
thing, man. You gotta. I think honestly, we got Curly on here. Hey, Boo, how are you?
Hey, I thought you were in a different module or something, man.
Sorry.
Different module. What's up? What's up, man? Mike the Snake. Eddie,
We're trying to talk
man.
Eddie.
What's up?
Eddie's in the greatest country in the world, America.
Eddie is just fine. I don't think he needs
Fight,
any
fight,
advice.
fight, Eddie.
Let
You gotta fight.
Hey, listen, I have a watch predicament. Finally, after fucking 2.5 years, I get to ask you some advice. Okay? I've been pondering this last night since Neo. Oh, look, we're gonna get some background music. Are you in the mood for this, or should I save it for when you're in the mood?
No, please go. Yes.
All right,
do
so
it.
here's the thing. I made a gentleman's agreement, I would have to say, with Neo. Okay? I have to purchase a watch of my likings, a Rolex, which is going to be either an SD43, but since I researched a little bit, I changed my mind because I like the two-tone. I didn't know that SD43 came in two-tone. So I want to know how to buy one. Price.
Yes.
I was already offered the steel SD43 from the AD.
I got it two
Come
times.
on, walk me. I'm not asking you, T-Dubs. Can I talk to Archie for a little bit? And T-Dubs, why don't you turn down your mic a little bit? Do you know what Archie? Do you know what he sounds like? Why don't you turn his mic down a little bit? I mean, he doesn't know what he sounds like. He sounds like he's using a bullhorn. So what do you think? Perfect. I'd like to get it from Texas or Florida, so I don't have to pay sales tax.
You know what? You've got an AD who's offering to sell it to you. Go grab it.
Wait,
Grab
it's from New York. I would have to pay the sales tax from New York, and then I have to ship it from a private party, which I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Okay, you know the easiest way I would do?
No, I don't even know. I actually want I want an SD43 that's two-tone, Archie. Oh, if I'm gonna buy a Rolex, I want a little gold in it. Decided that last night.
Okay.
That's terrible, Curly. Why? The two-tone looks. I don't like the look.
Two-tone. Look, I got to tell you, man. I think you could do it. It's simple. It's very simple. You know what I would do? I tell you honestly, what I would do is simple. Let me tell you this.
One back in 2020, I pulled away from it. I should have got it. Seedweller two-tone, mate, was fucking...
Seriously, you know what the answer is, man?
I don't know what the answer is, man, but I
David SW.
Well, let's go look. Let's go look. Let's go look.
We got David to do, man, because you know what?
We got
licking the AD's ass.
Yeah, from what I understand, the two-tone might be below retail right now. I haven't checked prices, but I know that Florida and Texas, if I buy it over the internet, I don't have to pay sales tax. And I think David SW and Wolven ship it for free.
I understand exactly.
But that's it. I'm over here because I'm like everybody. Neo, who I made this gentleman's agreement with, he says, you figure it out. Ask the Pontiff. So I finally got a watch question to ask you, and I got to do my due diligence.
That's the 1266.
Man. I got to tell you something, man. You are a winner. You know that? In my book, you are a winner, Curly. You know that?
Buy the Rolex, you win. That's like the guy at the convenience store telling me I'm buying a winning scratch ticket. Come on now. Exactly. What's up, Uzi? Hey, Uzi. It's fucking. You know what I get? You know what I get? All right, I'll see you, Archie. What the fuck is going on? Fucking guy. I mean, do you not know how to fucking have a conversation? You got to talk over people, T-Dubs? You ignoramus fucking bogan.
Taking him out. He's
trying to help him.
I mean, I don't mind Eddie's fucking accordion. I can't even fucking talk to you, Archie. I can't. I'm asking you a watch question first time in 3 years, and I'm actually serious.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear fucking tales from the fucking. I gotta
tell you something. You know
Dolphin
what? I think
fucking
it's a great choice for you. SD43. I got to tell you something. What I would consider if I were you
is the deep sea as well. That's something else to consider. I've just got the worst
Get the
fucking
rose
internet. I don't know
gold,
why
bro.
my internet is dog
Now,
shit. It's coming up
talking
now.
about
It's coming up.
Wait,
It's coming up.
Archie, is the deep sea, is this all stainless?
Your deep sea is all stainless, but you want
No.
two-tone.
I want
Are you
the
sure you really want two-tone?
You know what, Archie? If I'm gonna buy a Rolex, I want gold in it.
Get the fucking rose gold teal dial one. That thing's insanely nice.
The rose gold what?
The
What'd you say it
rose
was?
gold teal dial, like the blue green dial, Sky Dweller. It's the sexiest watch.
Look, I want an SD43. I
got to be honest with you.
Is it?
Let's have a look. Here we go. Let's look at this. Let's look at good value because Curly, we want to get you in.
Let me ask you something. So I don't
get you in.
Hold on. Let me ask you something so I don't get confused. Okay. Now, my partner 2 Christmases ago, his wife gifted him a two-tone. Now, it's an SD43, but that's not called the Bumblebee, right? So the GMT is called the Bumblebee, or are they both called the Bumblebee?
The Bumblebee is this combination of yellow gold and steel.
Okay.
Now, let's look at this. 13,000 gets you a sea dweller, right? 13,000, right? Let's have a look here.
All right, so David SW,
you're going to be looking about 18,000, 13.
Yeah, see, I just like I like that. I like the two-tone better, Archie.
My brother wanted a two-tone, so I'm not going to
pull
talk
the
too much.
trigger on that. If you really love that,
some people like.
I think the two-tone rocks. To be honest, if you look at this here, look at this. This is August 2020. It's fucking winner. 18,000. Now you ring him up, tell him ArchieLuxury. You do a lot of work for me, right?
All right. Well, no, Archie. I want you to set me the price for a good deal. I'm not here to get. I want a price on a good deal. I don't care about. I want condition minty, like you would. Archie, pretend it was you. Excellent. Forget about the sponsor shit. Yeah. Let's get a baseline, but I want you to tell me what a bottom line price is.
You're probably looking at 17.5, okay?
17.5. So you say that's box papers, everything, and it's got to be minty.
Exactly. It is minty. His stuff is all minty.
All right. So when we say minty, how do I know if the watch is polished or not, or some shit like that? Is it touch up okay?
Newish watches like this, it's not going to be a problem because it's so new. Okay, it's like buying a car that's got it's 1 year old car. So it's so perfect.
So what does he got? He's just got one. Wait a minute. Let me write 12.
Yeah.
126603. I want to talk to Mark Goldberg too about it.
Have him send you pictures on your phone, Curly. Have him send you personal pictures.
I don't know how to get a hold of Mike Goldberg. I actually want to get. I'm probably going to email him because I'm going to need somebody local to authenticate.
This is David SW. Doesn't get better than that.
Let's check Wolven.
David SW is the deal. This is the deal.
Now, what is this? What is this watch retail?
This watch retails. I think it's over 20.
Oh, really? So this is way below retail.
Yeah, sea dweller.
Now, why wouldn't I like this? Why would I want this over the stainless one if I want a little touch of gold, Archie? I want a little touch of luxury. I don't want a utilitarian watch.
Nothing wrong with a touch of gold. I got touch of gold in my bluesy, man. I'm all for you, man. I'm all for you.
I like that.
It'll fit my wrist. The GMT is just a touch small, man.
The retail price on this watch here.
Plus, I've had this watch on my wrist. 18.6. So this is a little bit below retail. And what year is this thing?
2020.
And he's got only one, right?
Yeah, just hang on one.
So Archie, is the buckle on this thing, the clasp on this, that's all solid stainless, right? It's not two-tone, is it? It's all satin, not polished.
That looks like a two-tone sub-day, don't it?
Yeah, see, yeah, because Alex wear a sub-date. No, Alex wears a GMT two-tone, which I guess is called the Bumblebee, right? See, I thought
I don't
this
know
was
which one
called the
is.
Bumblebee too.
I don't think this is a bad-looking two-tone. I don't like them too much, but this particular
Dude, in
one,
person, in person, it looks nice. But I just want to make
I gotta
sure
tell
that
you, Curly,
one
this watch
yeah.
is you. Okay, look, you're thinking it too much. Let me say this to you, right?
All right, so wait,
You're
Archie,
going-
is
the
there
reason
a
you go to
difference?
David- Okay, let me say this
Archie,
to you. The
stop
reason you
fucking
go to-
selling me on David SW. This is a baseline. I want to know what's a good deal. I'll shop around. I want to hear from you what's a good deal. I don't know. $400 less than this is a good deal. 17.5 you're telling me is a good deal. If it was you, what would you want this watch for? It doesn't have to be a
Personally-
2020. I mean, that's fucking almost going on 5 years old. That's certainly been polished.
no,
or
that's
touched
not
up.
true. I wouldn't say that. It's steel.
Why?
It's steel.
The fucking isn't the gold polished, the center links?
I mean, anything's
No,
possible.
but you
I-
mean it is
you
the
can-
watches? Look, it's curly.
All right. So we're just going to look at
The
this
reason,
one
let me
website
say
and
this
that's
to
it.
you. Let me explain it to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like going to Mercedes-Benz of Chicago. When you buy a used car from them, you're not buying it from the corner store that has a Mercedes on the lot. Okay?
Yeah.
You're paying a little bit more to deal with David SW, but you were getting
Hey, listen, if
right
I could pay
stuff.
$400 or $500 less from either Wolven or somebody that somebody recommends, I mean, I'm going to ask
Wolven's a
Jay.
great guy.
I'm going
But
to
I
ask
can
JJ
tell you, all
next.
of these guys are really good people, right? Wolven,
New York.
or
I mean,
David
New York.
SW.
If you buy a watch from a retailer online, New York, you don't have to pay New York sales tax. If I go to the AD, I have to pay New York sales tax.
Yes.
You follow what I'm saying? Because the guy that said he could, I think he said the steel one, not the two-tone. Or
I
maybe
think
the
David
two-tone.
SW is in Florida.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, no sales tax on internet sales.
So
When you buy out
if
of
I were
state,
you,
yeah.
Curly, it's simple.
Yeah.
You just ring and say, hey, I want a good best deal on this. I'm ready to buy today.
Okay.
The thing is, you can't say that line if you're not ready to buy today, if you're just tire kicking around, you know.
I'm
But
not
personally-
staying. I'm not staying. Wait a minute, Archie. 14k
What's
to
up, Jack?
15k. I'm fine. 14k to 15k is the price for one of them. All right. I'm out. I'll see you in a bit. I'm not. This
No
is
worries.
fucking torture. 14k to 15k. Call it.
I'll shop around. John.
Roger that, I'm
Facebook
out,
market.
right.
Go on Facebook, Curly. There's like
Because if Neo-
hundreds of groups. Hundreds.
Well, I mean, I'll just talk to people. I mean, I'll talk to like Hoff and JJ and stuff. But I mean,
Right.
if Neo says he's going to Watch Time New York, then I got to buy this because this is basically turns into a bet then. So I'm just doing.
Guys,
a
I
little-
got to check out very soon today.
All right,
let's
have a
catch
good
up.
one, Arch. Take it easy. See you. Hey, Eddie. Be cool, man. Be cool, Eddie. You got it made, Eddie. Playing the accordion, chilling out, Eddie. You're all right. Hey, Uzi. See you around.
See you.
See you, Arch. Have a good one.
No, what? Thank you. Thank you indeed. Just let Eddie 1 minute. I'll just be one tick.
What up?
Keep going. Sounds amazing. Yeah.
Okie dokie, guys. I want to wrap the show up, but I want to firstly go through the super chats that are remaining. We got Ryan Hoffery, $2. Mental Jock, take control, mate. My advice is, Curly, just ring David SW. Say, what's the best deal you can give me? I'm ready to buy. Boom, done. That's it. That's all you do. That's all I would do, because you're buying from the best dealer in America. Neo, $5. Eddie, T-Dub may seem very unfatherly, but you got to know, he hasn't washed his underwear. Coming close to 3 years now. We got GB, $2. Curly, I have one if you want to buy one. Okay. And we have got Patel Philippe, $5. Eddie, will you be available to play the accordion for our yodeling competition for Oktoberfest with OC and Higgy Baby? Hashtag Higok. And we got Patel Philippe, $5. Curly, Patel Philippe, $5. Curly, Bumblebee, the best piece to impress all the cooches out in Sicararo. There we go. Guys, I've got to leave the hotel. I'm already 10 minutes over. I got to leave. I want to thank everybody who super chatted today. Let's go through the list. We had GD, Mike the Mistake, Patrick B. We had Frank V, Herman Love, Sam Davidson, Rich Mitch, Herman Love, Thomas Burnett, Hermes Head, Frank V, Apes, Thomas Burnett, Neo, Frank V, Thomas Burnett, Frank V, Neo again, Thomas Burnett, Neo, Thomas Burnett, Patel Philippe, Neo, Malik Diamond, The Watch Hangout, Patel Philippe, Sam Davidson, Neo, Patel Philippe, Malik Diamond. We had Neo, Patel Philippe. We had Little Dave, Patel Philippe, Neo, SR Bell, John C, Sirocco Sales, GB, Little Dave, John C, GB, John C, SD43, Ryan Hoffery, Neo, GB, Patel Philippe. Guys, that's the show for today. My advice would be ring David SW, say, hey, I want to buy the two-tone Sea Dweller. What is your best price? Give it to me large and do the deal. I want to thank everyone who came on. T-Dubs, Mike the Snake, HR, Eddie, I want to thank you for coming on. Special thanks to Tan the Man. Thank you so much for coming on. I want to thank Higgies for coming on. Thank you so much. Everybody who come on makes the show great. Eddie, please listen to me. You need to be positive, man. You are in the greatest country in the world. America is the greatest country. If you don't like it, go back to Mother Russia and help your comrades slaughter a free nation. Okay? Because that's what those commie bastards are. Okay? Those Russians have illegally taken a free country. Okay? That's what the United Nations says. If you don't like it, leave. Eddie, you need to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Pull your finger out of your ass and do some work. You need to get your own, you need to create a job because nobody will employ you. You are in the greatest country in the world, but it's like being the world, you know, we are at a free buffet where most people are starving. Why is that? Because you got to reach up to the table and take the lobster claw. That's what you need to do, man. Okay. Guys, I'm going to run the advert. If you need a watch, you want to buy a watch, you want to sell a watch, there's only one place I'd recommend. Curly, ring David SW, get the deal, and buy the watch.
Hi, guys. It's ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David.